Bruyne. Talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini returns. He's in for Francesco Acerbi. Federico Chiesa, the goal-scoring hero from the last round, replaces Domenico Berardi. It's a clash of the titans at the Allianz Arena in the second quarter-final of Euro 2020 as Belgium take on Italy. It's 13 unbeaten for the Red Devils, 31 unbeaten for the Azzurri. It's the battle of the Robertos as well as Martinez takes on Mancini. Both sides have only conceded once in the tournament, but this promises to be an absolute cracker in Germany. Team news and Belgium have made just one change in the win over Portugal. Eden Hazard is not fit to play. He's replaced by Jeremy Doku. Kevin De Bruyne is fit and starts. As for Italy, it's two changes in the win over Austria. Talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini returns. He's in for Francesco Acerbi. Federico Chiesa, the goal-scoring hero from the last round, replaces Domenico Berardi. It's a clash of the titans at the Allianz Arena in the second quarter-final of Euro 2020 as Belgium take on Italy. It's 13 unbeaten for the Red Devils, 31 unbeaten for the Azzurri. It's the battle of the Robertos as well as Martinez takes on Mancini. Both sides have only conceded once in the tournament, but this promises to be an absolute cracker in Germany. Team news and Belgium have made just one change in the win over Portugal. Eden Hazard is not fit to play. He's replaced by Jeremy Doku. Kevin De Bruyne is fit and starts. As for Italy, it's two changes in the win over Austria. Talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini returns. He's in for Francesco Acerbi. Federico Chiesa, the goal-scoring hero from the last round, replaces Domenico Berardi. It's a clash of the titans at the Allianz Arena in the second quarter-final of Euro 2020 as Belgium take on Italy. It's 13 unbeaten for the Red Devils, 31 unbeaten for the Azzurri. It's the battle of the Robertos as well as Martinez takes on Mancini. Both sides have only conceded once in the tournament, but this promises to be an absolute cracker in Germany. Team news and Belgium have made just one change in the win over Portugal. Eden Hazard is not fit to play. He's replaced by Jeremy Doku. Kevin De Bruyne is fit and starts. As for Italy, it's two changes in the win over Austria. Talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini returns. He's in for Francesco Acerbi. Federico Chiesa, the goal-scoring hero from the last round, replaces Domenico Berardi. It's a clash of the titans at the Allianz Arena in the second quarter-final of Euro 2020 as Belgium take on Italy. It's 13 unbeaten for the Red Devils, 31 unbeaten for the Azzurri. It's the battle of the Robertos as well as Martinez takes on Mancini. Both sides have only conceded once in the tournament, but this promises to be an absolute cracker in Germany. Team news and Belgium have made just one change in the win over Portugal. Eden Hazard is not fit to play. He's replaced by Jeremy Doku. Kevin De Bruyne is fit and starts. As for Italy, it's two changes in the win over Austria. Talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini returns. He's in for Francesco Acerbi. Federico Chiesa, the goal-scoring hero from the last round, replaces Domenico Berardi. It's a clash of the titans at the Allianz Arena in the second quarter-final of Euro 2020 as Belgium take on Italy. It's 13 unbeaten for the Red Devils, 31 unbeaten for the Azzurri. It's the battle of the Robertos as well as Martinez takes on Mancini. Both sides have only conceded once in the tournament, but this promises to be an absolute cracker in Germany. Team news and Belgium have made just one change in the win over Portugal. Eden Hazard is not fit to play. He's replaced by Jeremy Doku. Kevin De Bruyne is fit and starts. As for Italy, it's two changes in the win over Austria. Talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini returns. He's in for Francesco Acerbi. Federico Chiesa, the goal-scoring hero from the last round, replaces Domenico Berardi. It's a clash of the titans at the Allianz Arena in the second quarter-final of Euro 2020 as Belgium take on Italy. It's 13 unbeaten for the Red Devils, 31 unbeaten for the Azzurri. It's the battle of the Robertos as well as Martinez takes on Mancini. Both sides have only conceded once in the tournament, but this promises to be an absolute cracker in Germany. Team news and Belgium have made just one change in the win over Portugal. Eden Hazard is not fit to play. He's replaced by Jeremy Doku. Kevin De Bruyne is fit and starts. As for Italy, it's two changes in the win over Austria. Talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini returns. He's in for Francesco Acerbi. Federico Chiesa, the goal-scoring hero from the last round, replaces Domenico Berardi. It's a clash of the titans at the Allianz Arena in the second quarter-final of Euro 2020 as Belgium take on Italy. It's 13 unbeaten for the Red Devils, 31 unbeaten for the Azzurri. It's the battle of the Robertos as well as Martinez takes on Mancini. Both sides have only conceded once in the tournament, but this promises to be an absolute cracker in Germany. Team news and Belgium have made just one change in the win over Portugal. Eden Hazard is not fit to play. He's replaced by Jeremy Doku. Kevin De Bruyne is fit and starts. As for Italy, it's two changes in the win over Austria. Talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini returns. He's in for Francesco Acerbi. Federico Chiesa, the goal-scoring hero from the last round, replaces Domenico Berardi. It's a clash of the Titans at the Allianz Arena in the second quarter-final of Euro 2020 as Belgium take on Italy. It's 13 unbeaten for the Red Devils, 31 unbeaten for the Azzurri. It's the battle of the Robertos as well as Martinez takes on Mancini. Both sides have only conceded once in the tournament, but this promises to be an absolute cracker in Germany. Team news in Belgium have made just one change in the win over Portugal. Eden Hazard is not fit to play. He's replaced by Jeremy Doku. Kevin De Bruyne is fit and starts. As for Italy, it's two changes in the win over Austria. Talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini returns. He's in for Francesco Acerbi. Federico Chiesa, the goal-scoring hero from the last round, replaces Domenico Berardi. It's a clash of the Titans at the Allianz Arena in the second quarter-final of Euro 2020 as Belgium take on Italy. It's 13 unbeaten for the Red Devils, 31 unbeaten for the Azzurri. It's the battle of the Robertos as well as Martinez takes on Mancini. Both sides have only conceded once in the tournament, but this promises to be an absolute cracker in Germany. Team news in Belgium have made just one change in the win over Portugal. Eden Hazard is not fit to play. He's replaced by Jeremy Doku. Kevin De Bruyne is fit and starts. As for Italy, it's two changes in the win over Austria. Talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini returns. He's in for Francesco Acerbi. Federico Chiesa, the goal-scoring hero from the last round, replaces Domenico Berardi. It's a clash of the Titans at the Allianz Arena in the second quarter-final of Euro 2020 as Belgium take on Italy. It's 13 unbeaten for the Red Devils, 31 unbeaten for the Azzurri. It's the battle of the Robertos as well as Martinez takes on Mancini. Well, it's a very warm welcome along to our unofficial off-tube studio commentary of this Euro 2020 quarter-final. The second quarter-final then, absolute scenes in the first one. Spain beating Switzerland on penalties, 3-1 in the shootout then for Luis Enrique's men. So they book their place in the next stage of the competition and they will face either Belgium or Italy, the winner of this tie. It is an interesting one between these two sides. It is the world number one ranked side, Belgium, against Italy. And both of these sides have only conceded one goal at this stage of the competition so far. Their defences have really been on top, but will they be able to stay on top this time? It's myself, James Mason, and Cameron Pope, who is with me. And well, Cameron, what are you expecting from this game between these two sides? Are you going for a goal fest, or do you think it will be tight and cagey?
Well, it's been so difficult to say, James. Looking at the teams, that was really the first chance we've had to actually get into the analysis on this one. Given that there's no Eden Hazard tonight in the Belgium squad, well, he is their main outlet down the left, and also you've got to remember at this stage of the competition, he is their main penalty taker too. That certainly, I would say, hampers the Belgians' outlet. But then looking up front and looking at the power they've got in Romelu Lukaku and the fact that Kevin De Bruyne starts, that will certainly buoy Martinez and his charges. As for a goal fest, it's always difficult to say. Italy looked very easy in the group stage. They certainly had everything their own way. Austria then posed them problems in a way we've not seen them struggle before. So it really is difficult to say. I think whatever happens, whether we have goals, whether we're grinding this one out, I think it's going to be close. Yeah, it will be close indeed. And we are underway then for the start of the second quarter-final. And there's Belgium, the Red Devils, in their red kit. They're going from left to right in this opening 45 minutes. And there's Italy in their white kit, are in the opposite direction. The team news for this one, and by the way, just as Cameron was talking about the game, well, the big news for Belgium is that Eden Hazard is not fit to play, so he's been replaced by Jeremy Doku in the starting lineup. That's the only change from their win against Portugal. Kevin De Bruyne, though, he is fit to play. He was a doubt, but he starts the game for Belgium. As for Italy, it's two changes from that extra time victory over Austria. Their talisman and captain Giorgio Chiellini is back in the heart of defence alongside Leonardo Bonucci. Francesco Acerbi drops out, and Federico Chiesa, the other change, his goal-scoring form from that win over Austria. Well, he is into the starting 11. He replaces Domenico Berardi. He drops down to the bench, and an early opening there for Belgium as Romelu Lukaku nearly worked his way into the penalty area. Well, that was a good run out then from the goalkeeper, Gianluigi Donnarumma. The two 11s in full for you then for Belgium. It's Thibaut Courtois in goal. Then it's a back three of Jan Vertonghen, the captain, Thomas Vermaelen and Toby Alderweireld, Torgan Hazard and Thomas Meunier at the left and right wing backs respectively, with Yuri Tielemans and Axel Witsel in the middle. Jeremy Doku and Kevin De Bruyne are flanking either side of Romelu Lukaku. As Italy come forward down the right hand side, Chiesa cuts the ball back onto his right foot just inside the penalty area, twisting and turning, tries to get a shot away. A little deflection then off the Belgian man, although I think the referee
has given a free kick to Belgium inside the area, a foul on Hazard. As for Italy, they go with Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal, then it's Leonardo Spinazzola, Giorgio Chiellini, Leonardo Bonucci and Giovanni Di Lorenzo at the back. Marco Verratti, Jorginho and Nicolo Barella make up the midfield three, with Lorenzo Insigne, Ciro Immobile and Federico Chiesa as the top three. But a lively start to this game, just over 2 minutes gone, and both sides having sort of half openings.
Yes, good chance there for Chiesa down the right. Just managed to find himself a half a yard of space. It was unlucky, really. Torgan Hazard did well to get himself between man and ball and just invite the contact. And a real pity for Italy, because Lorenzo Insigne was in space inside the penalty area. Chiesa just couldn't get the ball out to him.
Couldn't indeed. But Lukaku in these early exchanges has had himself a couple of early little openings there. He's been causing a little bit of havoc. Interesting to see how fit Chiellini is, just due to the fact that he's missed the last couple of games for Italy. But De Bruyne with this corner, right-footed in, swinging delivery towards a near post, and that's a big booming header away by that man Chiellini. Got in there ahead of Alderweireld. There'll be a throw into Belgium on that far left-hand side of the field. De Bruyne standing over it once again. I thought that Torgan Hazard will come over and take it, and he does come over and take it now, as Belgium have themselves an early bit of field position. And Hazard now, the other Hazard brother, Eden, of course, hasn't quite gone right from over the past couple of seasons with his domestic club Real Madrid, and he's out of this game due to a muscular injury that he picked up in that victory last time out. I mentioned De Bruyne was a doubt. He had an ankle sprain, but he's fit enough for this one. He's been in the wars, hasn't he, De Bruyne, Cameron, in terms of the injury at this tournament and the injury before, obviously in the Champions League final. It's not been the ideal preparation for him.
No, it certainly hasn't, and it's a pity because he's such an integral part of that Belgium unit, really. And we look at this golden generation, and he is certainly the leading light. So it's a massive plus that they were able to get him on from the start. I must say, it rose a few eyebrows. I myself was rather surprised. I imagine we'd see him at some point in the evening, even if he was only half fit. But to see him lining up at the start, it's interesting to see whether Martinez thinks he's going to get 120 minutes out of him. With an ankle injury, it's not like the facial problem he came into the tournament with.
Yeah, it was Lukaku now with the ball over the top, but the offside flag did go up eventually. That's a couple of times he's tried to spin in around those two centre-halves, playing off the shoulder of Bonucci and Chiellini, and he just went ever so slightly there. He's probably sort of half of his knee was offside there, but that's the ball they're looking for. One over the top, and Lukaku spinning in behind, trying to get on the end of it. He did, but the offside flag did go up, as Italy have possession across their back four as things stand. Incidentally, the referee this evening, by the way, is Slavko Vincic, who is the man in the middle, as Italy now with possession across the back. It's with Chiellini. Chiellini now just swings out towards Spinazzola. Over halfway he comes. He looks down the line, and there's not much movement ahead of him. Just turns and goes back towards the halfway line where Chiellini has possession. Now he does find Bonucci, that experienced centre-half pairing. Now it's back out to Verratti on this left-hand side. Insigne's hugging the touchline, and he's eventually found now. Just a little scamper in field, goes for a long ball towards the far post, and is it going to be kept in by Mounier? It is, but he can only really throw a right foot at this one, sort of scuffs it into the ground, and it's an easy take in the end by Courtois. And now Belgium will look to come forward down that far left-hand side of the field, but it feels like quite a lively and energetic start to this game. I mean, personally, I don't think this is going to be as sort of attacking as many people think. You know, Italy and Belgium mentioned before, they've only conceded one goal in this tournament so far, and if you take away the extra time goal Italy conceded, it's 12 games now that they haven't conceded a goal. It's well over 1,000 minutes of football. I actually think defences could be on top in this one. Well,
perhaps Italy have gone away from the traditional catenaccio, defend at all costs. Now, they do like to defend higher up the field, but it's interesting to see Belgium trying to stretch them, so not much space to do that at the moment.
Yeah, Doku just getting down the left-hand side, low ball towards the near post, but that's easily picked up by Donnarumma. Lukaku was a little bit away from that one, but yeah, interesting that Jeremy Doku, the 19-year-old's been given the nod in the Belgium side, replacing Eden Hazard, and given the nod ahead of the likes of Gis Mertens is one you thought could have come on, Yannick Carrasco, another one there. You also have Leandro Trossard, the Brighton man, Nasser Chadli, but he's gone with Doku, who's maybe just got that a little bit of extra pace that Roberto Martinez thinks that he can cause this Italian defence some problems, but we've not had anything really for either keeper to do as of yet. Courtois and Donnarumma interestingly, I still think Donnarumma's out of club, isn't he, Cameron? Is he, he's left AC Milan on a free. Is he signed for Paris Saint-Germain yet? That's where everyone's saying he's going.
Well, it seems to be the worst kept secret. As far as I'm aware, it seems to be straight up in the air, and it's hard to believe that the man is only 22 years old. He's been at least 7 years in the first team at AC Milan, and almost that long with Italy too. Already racked up 30 caps, and so you can bet on one thing, and that's that he won't be without his services committed to a club for too long. Not too much to do so far though, but I think that's testament to the defence there in front of him. Bonucci and Chiellini, 215 caps in between them. You're going to struggle to find a more battle-seasoned veteran pairing in international football anywhere, really, certainly not at this level. And so I think his prowess in this development has certainly been aided by having a stellar defence in front of him.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with that. It's definitely an experienced centre-half pairing, as this ball now is switched from right to left, diagonal from Belgium. It's headed back towards the halfway line, but it's going to be picked up by Axel Witsel. Witsel now goes back towards the goalkeeper Courtois. Courtois then finds Alderweireld on the edge of his box. He's under a little bit of pressure from Insigne, but shows composure, just gives the ball towards his right-hand side then for Meunier. Meunier then tries to clip it down the line and go around Spinazzola, but Spinazzola's done well. He's read it, he's won the ball back, and now Italy have possession midway through Belgium's half. Now it's in field then towards the number 8 Jorginho, the Chelsea man. Has been a key figure in this Italian defence. And Roberto Mancini, who has been on an incredible run of form with Italy. I have to say, it's 31 games unbeaten going into this match. It's a national record for Italy. And the work that Mancini's done can't be underestimated in the fact that he took over when they had failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup. It's absolutely incredible, isn't it, Cameron?
Well, they're two great managerial success stories, although you certainly look at the resumes between Roberto Martinez and Roberto Mancini, and there are stark differences. You've got to look just at the record of national competitions as well. 3 Scudetti with Inter Milan, 1 Premier League trophy, a host of national titles in cup competitions. That's for Mancini, whereas Roberto Martinez, well, his pedigree has just been limited to the Europa League really so far, but both have worked wonders in the national team. Mancini certainly came in at a low ebb, and he's now managed to update the Italian style. A shift in mentality gets them up the field more, and it's certainly working wonders. So you wonder what has to give tonight.
Yeah, what has to give? Will anything give at the moment as Italy have possession? Just about 9 minutes gone and it's goalless between Belgium and Italy. Listening to unofficial off-tube studio commentary now as it's worked out towards the right-hand side of the field. Barrea, who to be fair was a player whose position in the starting 11 was under a little bit of threat with the sort of impact that the substitutes had in that last game against Austria, but he's managed to retain his position as Italy have a throw now down the right side. They take it quickly. It's towards the edge of the box for Immobile. Immobile then just nods it back down, and Italy trying to patiently work their way forward. Now it's short into the feet of Immobile again, who's come deep for this one. Then, a misplaced pass though is intercepted easily by Meunier. He then just volleys it, half volleys up towards halfway to nobody though. It's a white shirt who's brought this down now. It's Spinazzola for the Azzurri. Now Verratti now finds Jorginho, and the game is maybe just settling in to a little bit of a pattern now. Neither team is really that slick in the final third at the moment, but they're trying to change that. Well, just as I say it, Immobile has a poor touch and then splices one out with his right foot, and out for a throw on that far left-hand side for Belgium, where they will look to start something from the back. Immobile had a good start to the tournament, didn't he, Cameron? 2 goals in his first 2 games, was then rested for that third group match against Wales. Nearly scored a wonder goal against Austria when he hit the woodwork, but he hasn't really been the clinical finisher that I thought he would be.
Well, yes, I was just going to say it's certainly been an impressive start in terms of figures, and a rare slip from him there to concede the throw in. Many touted him, of course, for a shout at the Golden Boot. There's a fair distance opening up between himself and Ronaldo at the moment. We know that total is not going to be improved on. We've certainly seen what he can do at club level with Napoli. But you look at his goal return record, and only 15 in 49 caps. Perhaps that form doesn't quite translate into the national team.
Yeah, indeed. As Belgium now coming forward down the right-hand side of the field. Meunier with the low ball in. It hits off the left-back Spinazzola, and that will go behind for a corner kick. So another opportunity. I mean, it seems pretty level when you think of the two teams instead of their aerial advantages. I don't think anyone has an aerial advantage really in this game.
Well, yes, it's 2 very physical sides. The edge that I might see opening up in these in these first few minutes is possibly the pace of Belgium. Lukaku's always sniffing around on that defensive line, and Moynier, we've just seen his dynamism there, getting into the corner and finding Italy a little bit flat-footed. Perhaps that could be the key to unlocking his defence.
Yeah, De Bruyne a low ball in, but again, it doesn't beat the first man at that near post. We've seen so many of those corners in this tournament that do not beat the first man. It's a bugbear, not just of mine, I think, but of a lot of people who watch football. You think all the defenders, all the big men are in there, they've got themselves up from the back, and you fail to beat the first man. It's all a little bit disappointing. As just taken down in the middle of the park there was Nicolo Barella, then by Axel Witsel. To be fair, Witsel is a bit of a yellow card walking at times, but nobody in the book as of yet. But just in the opening exchanges of this quarter-final Euro 2020, still Belgium 0, Italy 0, and nothing for either keeper Thibaut Courtois or Gianluigi Donnarumma to do yet. It's been quite a lively start between these two teams. They're passing around quite nicely, they're getting stuck into some challenges, but just failing to click in the final third at the minute. It's maybe not that surprising. There is a lot of attacking talent on the pitch, but both of these teams have been assured at the back in this tournament. Just one goal conceded from both of them so far, and at the moment defences are on top. It's Belgium 0, Italy 0.
Yes, we're certainly starting to see a few clumsy challenges rolling in. Nicolo Barella there just forced down to ground by Torgan Hazard wide on the right. And it certainly seems to be a trend of these opening few minutes. You see players turning backs well. Fantastic bit of play by Barella there to flick away from Witsel. And Witsel, of course, coming back from serious injury problems, just didn't have the pace to keep up with the Inter man and brings him down to ground. And now a promising free kick wide on the left, or wide on the right for Italy, you would say.
Yeah, as a ball comes into the box then, and it's in there, and the box is flicked on and into the bottom left corner, and it's into the back of the net, and it's Leonardo Bonucci who has got himself on the score sheet. Well, that was awful defending, having just praised the fact that Belgium's defence has been pretty good like Italy's. Italy now with a low ball in from the free kick. It's just flicked on at the near post, and it goes past around three bodies, and it somehow just bubbles its way into the bottom left corner, and they've got the opening goal.
Well, for a central defensive trio that has bags of experience at the best level, I cannot for the life of me understand how that had been allowed to float in. But hey, this could change. This could change. It's one of those that you look at the first instance and you do wonder. But I just think Giorgio Chiellini may have gone a little bit early from this one.
Oh, we'll have to have a look at this one. I'm not sure. It's Bonucci at the far post, isn't it? I'm not sure if anyone's got a touch on it at the near post. So it's whipped in, and it goes past a couple of bodies, and then it's Bonucci at the far side, and no goal. The offside flag has gone up to this one, so it's still 0-0, no goal. Very close that though, Cameron.
Well, but I've got to say again, it's credit to the officiating at these championships. Again, we've seen the minimum of fuss, the VAR decision delivered accurately and swiftly, and it feels like the flow of the game hasn't been broken up, but certainly a let-off there, and a chance now to just reset at the back for Belgium and assess what went wrong, because you could say there's a yard in it, perhaps even less, but there should not be that much room afforded at the back post, and that was what nearly cost Belgium, never mind the offside.
Yeah, nearly cost them, but it's still Belgium 0, Italy 0, unofficial off-tube studio commentary as the Red Devils come forward down the left-hand side now. It's with Torgan Hazard, goes back towards Witsel in Belgium, happy just to try and pass this one across the halfway line. Now it is with the number 8 Tielemans, the Leicester man, out towards Alderweireld. Quite a Premier League connection in this Belgium side. Alderweireld on the halfway line just goes to Vermaelen, a former Premier League player of course, and now it is with Jan Vertonghen out towards the left-hand side where Doku has it now. Doku now just hugging the touchline, looks to twist and go back down the line, finds Hazard who's just ahead of him. Hazard then goes back for Doku, but a little foot comes in then from the right back. It's actually Federico Chiesa, who's back there doing his defensive work, as we've had just about 15 minutes gone and it's a 0-0. Still goalless then between Belgium and Italy, but there was the ball in the back of the net just a few moments ago, and it was for Italy. A free kick whipped in from the right hand side. It goes past a few bodies at the near stick, and then it's eventually tucked in around sort of 8 yards out by Leonardo Bonucci into the bottom left corner. They wheeled away in celebrations, but then VAR came into play. They had a check of things, and it was a sort of a judge that it was just flicked at the near post by Chiellini, who went a little bit too early, flicked off him across the face of goal, and then Bonucci put it in, so the offside was given and the goal was ruled out. So it's still Belgium 0, Italy 0.
Well, we've seen how quickly fortunes can change. A tasty effort there from Tielemans, about 45 yards out there, James. Just seemed to snatch it, if anything, but it took a large chunk of the defender with it, and it just asked the question of Gianluigi Donnarumma for a moment. The stopper had to get up and take note. Just the corner, it was always veering away from goal.
Yeah, it was indeed. As a corner comes in now for Belgium. They tried to take it short. It's still not cleared properly though. Now it is with the number 5 Vertonghen, and now it's to the right hand side of the box of Meunier. Whips in a good looking ball. It's headed away. It's picked up by De Bruyne though. De Bruyne right footed from distance. Smacks that one with venom, but it hits straight off the head of Chiellini, and that'll go out for another throw on the far left hand side. So, well, maybe having had that little bit of a shock, it sort of kicks Belgium into gear, having seen one go in the back of their net, but VAR came to help them out. But it will be a throw-in for Belgium then. Good field position as they try to come forward down that left-hand side. Hazard coming all the way over to take this throw. It doesn't look like the type of player that has a long throw in the locker, and he just goes back down the line. So they've lost all that field position, Belgium. That's a strange decision for me, really, to go all the way back towards the halfway line. Literally can set themselves, get back in their structural position. Belgium do still have possession, though. Now a ball looking for Lukaku. But I have to say, Lukaku, after looking lively in the first 5 minutes of this game, has been marshalled really well by Bonucci and Chiellini. They know they're going to have to be strong in the challenge, and Bonucci certainly was there as Italy had possession just over halfway. It's into the feet of Verratti. Verratti then goes short to his right for Jorginho. He then drops it into the path of Bonucci out towards Di Lorenzo. I haven't seen much of Di Lorenzo getting forward, but he's going to try that now. He looks to go down the line looking for Chiesa. Chiesa on the wrong side of the defender. Picks in a ball there towards the near post, and it's been easily tapped away then by Vertonghen. Now Belgium will try to pass this one out from the back. It's with Tielemans getting the ball from Witsel. Now it is with Hazard. Hazard goes back towards Vertonghen. Puts a big left boot through this one, up over halfway, but into the path of Bonucci. And 17.5 minutes gone, 0-0. I wouldn't like to call this one at the moment, actually, because having seen the ball in the side. He finds Immobile on the edge of the box. Now towards Insigne. Tries to find that little through ball there, looking for Spinazzola, who continued his run. But Belgium now running it out, and Tielemans is sort of a rugby tackle down, and Verratti's going in the book here. And that will be the first card of the game. So Verratti in the referee's notepad. But the Bonucci one was a bit strange there, Cameron.
Yes, his hand went straight down to his upper leg. I wondered if it might be a hamstring. It was hard to say, but I couldn't for the life of me understand why Giovanni Di Lorenzo at right back, who receives the short ball, doesn't immediately put the ball out of play. He then forces Bonucci to have to play on, and play a ball straight back to him too, and carry on upfield. And so it really is a strange one. But then he seems to be soldiering on. So yeah, the questions are abounding around that one for me.
They're a hard breed, the Italian defenders, especially the centre-backs, as Verratti then is sort of half scissored on the halfway line then by Tielemans. Is that a little bit of payback? I think Verratti, for me, is making more of this challenge than it actually was. We'll see again. He tries to... Well, it is a bit of a scissor challenge. He doesn't actually properly do the scissors, does he? He doesn't close the scissors. He keeps them open.
the problem with that, and a great analogy, the problem with the challenge for me is that he's always from behind there, Tielemans, and he can spread his legs as wide around the player as he wants. He certainly deserves the yellow card he's just been shown there, because at no point in that manoeuvre are you actually able to play the ball. So I think, okay, Verratti may have played for it, but I think the referee's got that one spot on.
Yeah, Tielemans in the book a matter of seconds after Verratti went in for a foul on the Leicester man. man. As Italy have possession just over halfway on that far right side with Di Lorenzo. He goes short then towards Immobile again, who's just sort of trying to pop a little bit deep and get involved in this one. Insigne now has possession as he tries to drive towards the edge of the box. He's into the area now, Insigne trying to weave his way around. Then he goes over very easily, just a little brush on him, and it's picked up by Courtois. But Insigne is a tricky little player when he gets himself in the penalty area. I don't think defenders really want to make the challenge on him as the ball goes forward then by Courtois. Big left boot up towards the halfway line, and Lukaku again, it's Doku this time, excuse me. I was wondering why he got beaten so easily in the air. Was that it was easy for Di Lorenzo to win the aerial battle. That's the only thing about Doku, isn't it, for Belgium, that he's quite small, he's not that muscular, so it's his pace that he relies on, but in any sort of physical battle you'd expect him to lose.
Yes, you look at him and he's a very slight figure, just 19 years old, a product of that prolific Anderlecht academy. It'll be a real test for him tonight. Yeah,
as Belgium come forward now, it's De Bruyne towards the edge of the area, left-footed strike, and what a save that is by Donnarumma. Well, it all opened up for De Bruyne. Italy were backpedaling towards the edge of their own box. De Bruyne got it onto his left foot. He just went for power towards that far corner. What a save.
Well, Donnarumma, he's been dormant for a few minutes. He's not had a lot to do. Always a mark of a good goalkeeper to spring into action like that. Well hit from De Bruyne, and a bottom-handed save by the Milan man to tip it round the poster. Certainly, you wouldn't say right in the corner. You would expect the goalkeeper to at least be equal to it, but he's certainly proven that, and high fives all round from his teammates, rightly so.
Yeah, corner is taken short by Belgium. Now it is back with De Bruyne. He whips it in left foot, a decent looking ball, but too close and too much on that one. Easily into the arms of Donnarumma. It was a decent idea. Oh, it's a poor ball out from Donnarumma, though, straight into the path of Hazard. Then, well, Hazard managed to get the ball back down this right-hand side. Oh, dearie me. It all opened up from the space to whip a ball in, and it just slices off his right toe way behind the stands for a goal kick. And well, that is a big moment which Belgium have missed. We're just seeing now replays of the offside which went against Italy, and it was close, but it was right, wasn't it?
Well, I think what has been said is it's the flick on at the near post. I think that comes from Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then turned home. And it really is a matter of half a foot. What quantity do you put on that? But the bottom line again is it's another correct decision, and so can't have too many complaints.
No, as Italy now have possession, just over 23 minutes gone. Listening to unofficial off-tube studio commentary, it's Belgium 0, Italy 0. Spinazzola then just rather sloppily losing possession. Now Belgium play the ball up to halfway. Lukaku is battling for it, but Chiellini is better than the Inter man. He's been in good form in this tournament, has Lukaku. Scintillating season for Inter Milan as they won the Scudetto now, as Verratti comes forward. He pings the ball into the feet of Immobile, but again it's a poor touch by Immobile, but he wins it back from Witsel. All getting a little bit scrappy between the two teams. A little turn on possession then by Barrea. Now it is with Insigne. Insigne finds Verratti. Verratti goes out towards his left hand side for Spinazzola. He's up against Toby Alderweireld, and now it's with Meunier. Tries to get him behind the full back, but it's good defending. The ball is hacked clear up to halfway. Lukaku wins his initial header, but well, Chiellini for me looked like he was holding Lukaku, but I suppose that's just the masterclass of the Italian defence, as they do just enough to put someone off before releasing their arms, and Italy have possession back. But I think Lukaku is starting to get a little bit frustrated up there with maybe the decisions that are not going his way, but Chiellini and Bonucci are the masters of being, well, just annoying really, and a bit of gamesmanship.
Well, I don't think that Romelu Lukaku fears too many defenders, but if he does, I think his one nemesis might just be Giorgio Chiellini. Although I'm going to break off because Italy looked well for a moment as if they were going to try and mount something. But as I was saying, Chiellini, well, he's played 6 times against Romelu Lukaku. He's been yellow carded on 3 of those occasions, but Lukaku, in all that time, has only scored 1. Food for thought.
Yeah, food for thought indeed. As Italy now are coming forward then with Jorginho. Jorginho now towards the left corner of the box. He just finds Spinazzola towards his left-hand side. Back in field then towards Insigne. Insigne is trying to pick up positions on the left and then sort of drift in field. He's hard to mark, and he does have possession again now, and he have a little jog towards the edge of the box. Low ball into the area, he finds Immobile. Immobile tries to lay it into the path of Barrea, and Belgium clear their lines, and now De Bruyne is running this one clear, and the Man City man is coming over halfway. He finds Lukaku to his right-hand side. Now Lukaku is one-on-one with Chiellini at the moment. Lukaku step overs into the penalty area. Left-footed strike is tipped away by Donnarumma, and then it's put behind by Di Lorenzo for a corner kick. I think Donnarumma made that one harder than it was, but it's a save he had to make.
Yes, it was well tucked away, and I was surprised that Lukaku actually managed to get a shot away. He did excellently well to hold up the ball there. He was outnumbered 3-1 by white shirts, just forced it out to the corner, not much power on it, but Donnarumma, you think he's got a cross in time. He then makes a meal of it and parries it straight out, and good think from Giovanni Di Lorenzo just to toe it out for a corner there, because well, the shirts of Belgium were streaming forward in numbers, and so perhaps making a run for their own back there, Italy.
Yeah, bobbly pitch though, I have to say, as De Bruyne puts his corner in towards the near post again, and it's sort of thied away at the near stick. And now Italy are trying to counter-attack, defence to attack. Now it is with Spinazzola on this left-hand side, tries to come over halfway, gets a little lucky deflection. Now he puts the ball ahead of him. There's an opportunity now for Chiesa. Chiesa on the edge of the penalty area, up against Mounier, onto his right foot, deflection then, off Alderweireld, and it pops up gratefully into the hands of Thibaut Courtois. That could have gone anywhere, but it's straight into the keeper's hand. But Italy won possession high up the field, sloppy from Belgium again, trying to play out from the back. It's now with Insigne in that number 10 position. Now it is with Chiesa. Chiesa, little ball towards the edge of the area for Verratti, back to Chiesa onto his left foot, and that again is well blocked by Alderweireld, straight in there to put the challenge in. Belgium will have a throw, but it's certainly ramping up.
Major distribution errors now from both goalkeepers. I wonder if this is the factor of the COVID hit, fatigue-inducing season, but we're starting to see some sloppy play out from the backs. Perhaps it's the nerves, perhaps it's the tempo, but it's just presenting chances.
It is presenting chances, and one there from Insigne, who bends one right-footed from a good 20-plus yards out. That is easily over the bar. Well, it's still Belgium 0, Italy 0, but having not had any chances really in the early exchanges, there's been some better play from both of these sides. Belgium have had themselves a couple of opportunities. The first fell for their star man Kevin De Bruyne as he drove forward. Then the space opened up to him onto his left foot, and he drilled one towards the far post. A good one-handed save by Donnarumma. Then after that it was Romelu Lukaku who got a bit of space, then fed in by Kevin De Bruyne, that man once again. A little step over towards the edge of the box, then left-footed, went for the corner, a couple bobbles, and it was tipped away by Donnarumma and behind. Then Italy, well, they did have a shot from Insigne from around 20-plus yards out, which he bended over, but there's been some good defending from both sides, a little bit of sloppy play. Are we going to get a goal? We'll have to wait and see. It's still Belgium 0, Italy 0.
Well, you have to say Insigne, he's got a wonderfully low centre of gravity. I love to see his mazy runs. We've seen him time and time again in the colours of Napoli. He just does well to pick the ball up on the left-hand side, always looking to ghost into the middle. But the problem he's got is that Belgium are just banking so many men deep. We've seen that Belgium like to play with flying wing-backs, but Mounier just camping back down by that corner flag and just stopping an outlet for him, really. So far, they've forced him to just pot shots from a distance. Not that he can't hit them, though.
Nope, not that he can't hit them, he certainly can, but just didn't quite get the technique right there. But Italy, I'll say Italy are probably just shading possession for me actually in this opening, just over 28 minutes now, but it's still 0-0. It's with Spinazzola on this near left-hand side. He just has a little short pass infield then towards Verratti. Verratti then opens his body, still trying to get away from Tielemans. Now he finds Insigne. Insigne now has the ball towards Immobile on the edge of the box. Immobile then does well to hold on to it. Now it is with Barea. Barea out towards that right-hand side, where it does find Chiesa. Chiesa twisting and turning. Left-footed shot comes in. It hits off a Belgian defender then. This time it was Alderweireld or Vertonghen in there, but Italy still have possession. It's our Spinazzola again, this time on the left corner of the box. He's looking to just dribble his way down the line. Into the area he goes just. Mounier is there though, gets a little block in, puts it behind for a corner. And again, there's been some good defending actually, especially for Mounier.
Yes, just standing firm every time down that right flank. I think they've identified the threat that we said that Insigne poses, and just managing to stand firm. But Spinazzola as well coming down that left flank, just it's double trouble for Italy. And so I think if there is going to be a problem posed for Belgium, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down that flank. Yeah,
this corner kick though won't come in yet. Chiellini is just getting a word from the referee. He's having a little bit of a hug in the penalty area with Axel Witsel, but it will be Insigne to take this corner kick for Italy. It'll be a right-footed in-swing and delivery towards that near post again, and an attempted flick on. It's cleared away well. It will be a throw into Italy. I mean, of all the corners we've seen in this game so far, which is around 5 or 6, there's only been one that's gone past the near post. It's so frustrating to watch.
Yes, as if there's lead in the ball. It doesn't seem to be flying that far whenever we stop for a corner. We've seen the danger that Italy have managed to pose from a free kick, of course, with the disallowed goal, just a touch of offside about it, whipped in from distance and from deep. So I'm not sure what the excuses are, but it's certainly starting to plague at either side.
Oh, as they're coming together now down that right-hand side of the field, and that will be a free kick to Italy. Like it was Di Lorenzo who was just, well, body checked by Torgan Hazard. Wonder if the referee may give a yellow card potentially. Wasn't really doing anything that threatening, Di Lorenzo, which could be the saving grace, I think. for the Belgian defender as Italy take this free kick into the penalty area. Well, Immobile goes down appealing for a penalty, but they picked it back up. Now it's just inside the box with Chiesa, right-footed shot and into the far corner, and Italy have taken the lead this time. There'll be no offside for this. It's Belgium 0, Italy 1, and that is some strike, but it is disappointing from a Belgian perspective in terms of trying to play it out from the back and getting caught out.
Well, they've been hit by the pressure of Italy so many times so far, and you would think they would learn their lesson. They got the let-off with the disallowed goal, but it's not to be this time. It's a fantastic strike, taken so well across the face of goal. Courtois vastly reduced to the role of a passenger. It was from that quickly taken free kick too. A great chip over the top, and Belgium just caught napping flat-footed. A hash clearance doesn't bring the ball out quickly enough. They try to overplay, and the white shirts just sense what's going to happen before time. Lovely jinking run, and the finish is just exquisite. Worked out nicely away from the defender. Vermaelen couldn't get close, and then nor could the goalkeeper, and that's been the difference between the two sides. Italy are just happy to capitalise on Belgium's mistakes, and the Belgians can't live with them.
Opening goal at the Allianz Arena, and Italy, having had the ball in the back of the net, but it was chalked off through VAR for an offside. They do now have the opening goal. It's Belgium 0, Italy 1, and it's Nicolo Barella who has had a fierce strike across the goalkeeper. It was initially a quick free kick taken by Italy. It was played into the penalty area. Immobile went down appealing for a penalty, and then it's attempted to be clear, sort of ran out then by Jan Vertonghen, and then he just toe pokes it when he's under a bit of pressure, straight into the path of an Italian player in Barella, who drives into the box, and then onto his right foot, he just strikes one across the keeper into the bottom left corner. A brilliant hit, and Italy have the lead. It's Belgium 0, Italy 1.
When the sides met at Euro 2016, it went Italy's way. It was a 2-0 win for the Azzurri in the group stage. And coincidentally, the last time they met at a Euros was Euro 2000, and it ended the same score, and it's headed that way. Early lead for the Italians, and you have to say I would agree with you, James. I think they have shaded it really in terms of possession and in terms of threat, but it's just Belgium's weakness at the back there. I don't know whether it's the lack of confidence for missing Eden Hazard, but that's a late challenge.
This is late, but I think it's slightly lucky for Thibaut Courtois there. Sorry to cut you off midway through your little bit there, but I mean Courtois takes a risk because he tries to just sort of skip around Immobile when he's pressurising him when the ball came back to him. If that's anyone but a goalkeeper in that challenge, I think that gets let go.
It's a tricky one there, really, isn't it? The referee has got a decision to make, and I think hearts will be in mouths for anyone of a Belgian persuasion. Just seeing Courtois step out there, it comes to nothing really in the end, but a worrying moment nonetheless.
Yes, indeed. Just over 33 minutes then gone. Belgium 0, Italy 1. And it is Italy that have the lead through Nicolo Barella's strike on the 31st minute, as Belgium now trying to respond down the right. Ooh, I tell you what, that's nearly somehow gone in. As Meunier came down the right, he fizzed the ball in field into De Bruyne. Jorginho sort of tracking back, sort of toe poked it, and it's almost managed to curl it all the way into the bottom corner when Donnarumma was way off his line. They'll get a corner kick for this one. That could have been a bit embarrassing then for the Italian shot stopper, but De Bruyne will take this corner. He puts his right arm up, and it'll be a right-footed in-swing delivery. That's a better one into the box, but Chiellini's there to head the ball away. It's going to be picked up though by Hazard before it goes out of play. He controls and then just goes back then towards his defence as it's brought forward then by Vertonghen. Ball into the penalty area is easily intercepted actually by Italy. It's with Verratti. Verratti then springs one over towards that right-hand side where it's just nodded down by Insigne, and Italy now just passing it around the back as they just look to get a bit of control back in this game, but controlled they certainly do. Look, the opening goal then from Barella, assisted by Marco Verratti, and I suppose this is an Italy side that have looked so impressive. They didn't have Chiellini for the last two games. They didn't have Verratti for the first two games, I think. Definitely the first game. So they've not been at their full strength, but I mean, what a side they are.
Well, the first test we saw really was the last 16 against Austria, and so they've managed to get by there. I think what we can say is they don't rely on the same figureheads anymore. It's shared out. We've seen the threat posed by Matteo Pessina. He's not even on the pitch. So exactly, the strength and depth now at Mancini's disposal, well, it's certainly helped his revolution in mindset coming in, but the fact that he's got such a vast pool of talent to pick from certainly doesn't harm their chances.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, looking at the goal scorers, Immobile and Insigne in the first match, of course, at Demaro's own goal. Then it was a Locatelli double and Immobile in the next game. Then it was Pessina who scored against Wales, of course. And then the last match it was Chiesa and Pessina again. So they've got goals at various parts of their pitch and in their squad to Italy, and it's certainly working for Roberto Mancini's men. As things stand, they're on the way to making it a sensational 32-game unbeaten run. Absolutely incredible. He's only lost twice since he took over Mancini, and that was right at the start of his tenure of the national side, when I think he was just getting to grips with the players that he wanted, as Immobile is battling hard then against Van Marlen. The referee's happy with that challenge as Immobile goes down again. Now it is with Mounier. Mounier then just pops it in field towards Tielemans, who's inside his own box. Now it's with Courtois. Courtois then takes a touch and plays a low ball into the path of Doku. Doku then, oh dearie me, tries to sort of turn it around Di Lorenzo, but just toe pokes it straight out of play. And he's not had an easy game as Jeremy Doku. Out with those sort of players, the attacking players, he's sort of being used less, and he's not really seen much of the ball. Maybe wouldn't be surprised at half-time to see Martinez maybe make a switch, but he may not want to sort of harm the 19-year-old's confidence too much. But it's Italy coming forward again. Oh, then a first-time ball into the box then from Barea. Just spoons off his right foot and in towards the goalkeeper Courtois. But dare I say it, for Italy fans, they look very confident at the moment. In Belgium, if it's not going through De Bruyne, they don't seem to have that much creativity. Is that fair to say?
I think it is, James. Italy have certainly grown into the game, while Belgium have probably regressed. And I think that the point you make about Doku is a salient one. It was a gamble taken by Roberto Martinez. We know that he's got Nasser Chadli with more experience he could have thrown on, etc. It doesn't perhaps seem to be paying off, but he's known for his man management skills at Roberto Martinez, and I wouldn't be surprised to see if he protects the young lad, bringing him off at half-time. Because if Italy managed to neutralise Kevin De Bruyne, which largely they have, that kind of stunts, as you say, the creativity of Belgium.
Yeah, and it's how long will De Bruyne last as well? How fit is the Manchester City man? Will he be able to do 90 minutes, 120 if they have to go that way? We'll have to wait and see, but there are options. But Doku is on possession, in the ball now on that left-hand side. A little sort of stutters as he comes in field, finds Witsel, but there are options on the bench. Mentioned them earlier, the likes of Dries Mertens, Yannick Carrasco, Chadli, Trossard, Batshuayi, Benteke. There's a lot of attacking talent on that bench for Martinez to utilise if he wants to. Now as Belgium come forward down the right with Mounier, just collects a nice ball towards him, drops it back into the path of De Bruyne. De Bruyne was looking up, but Lukaku in the box is being marshalled really, really well. Got to give credit to Bonucci and Chiellini. Whenever Lukaku goes onto one of them, they're marshalling him really, really well. As Doku now tries to go past Di Lorenzo, he cuts in field, goes back down the line for Lukaku. Not really where you want him, but Lukaku now on the left side of the box. Little step over, tries to go down the line. Again, Di Lorenzo gets his body in this way. It's back towards Doku. Doku now trying to get room for a cross, just lays it into the path of Witsel in field. Now it is with the number 2, Alderweireld. Alderweireld out towards the right-hand side where Mounier takes it, but he's been forced back a little bit. Just flicks one down the line to De Bruyne. De Bruyne though, Verratti comes in. It's a great slide challenge, but De Bruyne somehow managed to win it back right on the edge of the penalty area. Tries a little inside ball. It's deflected away to Tielemans. Tielemans delivers it towards the far post, and it's sort of half volleyed, stabbed away. Insigne now has it. Then he goes with his right foot and puts one straight up into the air. Midway through Italy's half, it will bounce down in. Immobile is battling away then with Alderweireld, and there's a bit of head tennis between the two sides now. It's eventually picked up by Witsel. Verratti goes down, as if he was caught in the face, and the referee's given a free kick to Italy. I'm not too sure about that. When Witzel's saying, well, what can I do? And I have to kind of agree with him. Verratti was kind of jumping all over him like it was a little Jack Russell.
Yeah, it's a shame there, really. I thought perhaps for the handball, but seeing the seeing the replay, I don't think there's anything in it, really. The only question you could ask is whether Witzel's got a hand in the face, but it's only a very slight one, and certainly doesn't warrant the reaction that it got. And it's a shame, really, too, because it brings to a close a really high-octane spell of possession for both sides, really. I think that we've seen, fluctuations in the momentum, and it certainly seems to be with the Italians at the moment, but just for a moment there, it looked that Belgium managed to get past their frustrations and create something.
Yeah, it is. Italy coming forward though. Di Lorenzo tries to chip one into the box, and that one's going to be again sort of thigh-kneed behind them by Thomas Van Marlen, former Arsenal man. It'll go for a corner kick. I'll tell you what, if Italy could grab a second before half-time, then it would be a long way back for Belgium due to Italy's impressive defensive record. And again, Bonucci, Chiellini going up from the back. I've already seen Bonucci with the ball in the back of the net. It was chalked off, rightly so, for an offside, but a very tight offside call. The Italian fans giving their praise and support from the sidelines then. In the stands, it will be Verratti who will take this corner. Remember that he is on a yellow card along with Yuri Tielemans in this game, so those two will have to be careful. But Verratti puts his right arm into the air and he'll look to deliver this one. Right-footed outswinging delivery. It's a decent-looking ball. It's headed away at the near post, though. It was picked up on the edge of the area. Chiesa! Oh, and he's just put that one wide. So close. The goal-scoring hero from the last round against Austria has just not got the bend he wanted. I have to say, I think Courtois is beaten.
Well, he really fancied that one, Chiesa. He lines it up, and I have to disagree. I think that Courtois, he had the momentum. I think he saw it early enough and was getting across to the corner. It was, as you say, a good height for the goalkeeper, but it was hit with venom all the same. It would have been an interesting battle, and Chiesa, well, he's a player who's playing with bags of confidence at the moment, and I have to agree with your assertion, James. If Italy get a second before the break, Belgium need a real change-up of mentality at half-time, because at the moment, I think one goal might just be a push for them.
We're closing in on half-time then, and it's Belgium 0, Italy 1. And since taking the lead through Nicolo Barella on the 31st minute, Italy have looked quite assured and confident, especially at the back. They're nullifying the threat that Kevin De Bruyne has, and Romelu Lukaku is being marked out of the game pretty well by Giorgio Chiellini and Leonardo Bonucci. It is quite a physical battle, but it's the one that the two Italian defenders are winning at the moment. I think Lukaku just needs someone in around him a bit closer to try and help him out. But Italy did have an opportunity to make it 2-0 and double their advantage when the ball fell to Federico Chiesa around the edge of the area. Right-footed strike, trying to bend it around the defender and into the bottom corner. Just didn't get the bend that he wanted. But it's Belgium 0, Italy 1.
Yeah, you can see the frustration from Romelu Lukaku. He's dropping back out of that front man role and almost into central attacking midfield to try and get into the engine room and catalyse something. He's not getting much service. As you say, he's been marked expertly out the game, and that trusty 3-4-3 is almost morphing into a 3-5-2 as he just tries to get in on the action. When we have seen him as well, it just seems to be a sea of white shirts that get straight around him, and it's just not happening for him at the moment.
It's not. It is happening for Italy, though, as Chiesa now comes forward and he drives infield, then gets away from a couple of challenges. Now it is towards the left-hand side of the field with Spinazzola. Now Insigne goes back towards the halfway line. Chiellini, first time ball into the path of Verratti. Now it is with Jorginho. Jorginho, he absolutely fired that into the path of Federico Chiesa, who did superbly well to control it and then get the ball back towards his defence, as Insigne now has it. Insigne goes for a long ball forward, and it's a decent looking one. It's going to find Spinazzola. Spinazzola low ball onto the penalty area. A chance now at the near post then for Immobile, trying to get room for a shot. Still has possession. Right-footed strikes it on the turn, and that one's been blocked away. Oh, Immobile, the initial chance when it came in towards him at the near post, he should have hit it first time or at least got a shot away. He didn't. He took too long. Jorginho still has possession though. Back towards the halfway line where Bonucci has it, and he'll go to Donnarumma. What an opportunity for Ciro Immobile.
Well, twice there in the space of one movement, he held onto the ball too long. He found himself at the near post, flew off these lines, could have squared, decided to go himself alone. Belgium managed to get red shirts back behind the ball, just forced him away from goal and then couldn't really turn. It was just too late. Promising, and questions asked of Belgium again, though, once again. Yeah,
Insigne coming forward now. He cuts in field away from Tielemans, right-footed, bends one towards the top right corner. And what a goal that is from Lorenzo Insigne. He's already had a sight like that in his first half. And this time he hits the postage stamp in the top right corner. Absolutely brilliant. Tielemans couldn't bring him down because he was on a yellow card, so he let him go inside of him. And what a hit by Lorenzo Insigne. 2-0.
Well, we've castigated Belgium time and time again for their laxness in defence, and coupled with that bluntness up top, this was a recipe for disaster, and it's the worst possible time to concede. A fantastic finish, though, taking nothing away from Lorenzo Insigne. What a finish that is. He took it straight away from Courtois. The bend makes it look delicious too. Sails past the goalkeeper, and now this looks, to me, at an early stage, this could just be an unassailable lead.
Well, are Italy putting one foot into the semi-final stage Euro 2020. They were 1-0 up, they're now 2-0 up. Belgium 0, Italy 2, right on the stroke of half-time as well. And it's Lorenzo Insigne with a superb hit. He had a sighter midway through the first half with the one around sort of 20ish yards out when he tried to bend it in the top right corner. Well, he got another opportunity. He drove forward, then down the left-hand side, cuts in field, then away from Tielemans, who had to let him go past him because he was already on a yellow card. But then the defending, Toby Alderweireld, just sort of waiting on the edge of the box, not pressurising. Insigne says, all right, I'll have a go from, well, around 20 yards out again. Right-footed, just puts it in the top right corner. It's a superb hit. It's Belgium 0, Italy 2.
Belgium now have it all to do, and again Doku finds himself into their box, and I tell you what, there's a decision to be made here. James, I think we're going to have a penalty.
I think we do have a penalty as well. Just having a look at that one when I looked back up at the screen then, and it's Jeremy Doku. We said he's not really done a great deal in this first half. Now they'll have a look at this one on the replay. It's Di Lorenzo who goes in. Oh, is that a penalty? I mean, he'd maybe just get slightly ahead of Di Lorenzo, gives him a little nudge in the back, but I mean, I don't think there's enough for me for him to go over so exuberantly. I don't think Di Lorenzo's got him that bad. For me, I don't think that's a penalty.
It certainly falls into the soft category, but I tell you what, we've criticised at times Jeremy Doku's contribution, but that has been his best moment. He just got goal side of Giovanni Di Lorenzo, and I think it's a soft penalty, yes, but the interesting thing is it's been given by the on-field referee, Slavko Vincic, should I say. It's been given by the on-field referee, and so like you said, I don't think there's enough to give it. I don't think there's enough now for the video assistant referee to go and overturn it.
No, well, that's interesting, isn't it? It's like cricket, isn't it? When the fact that the umpire's decision on field, you've got to overturn it. The penalty check, they've had a look at it, and the penalty stands. So, well, Italy, having looked like they were maybe home and hosed, 2-0 at the break, it could be 2-1 at the break now, and what an opportunity for the Red Devils to get back into this tie. It would be 2-1 if they can slot home this penalty kick, and they need it so desperately. It will be Romelu Lukaku who is stepping up to take this penalty. Can the Inter Milan striker, the number 9 for his country, put this one in the back of the net? He composes himself, steps up, left-footed into the back of the net, and Belgium have a way back into this game because it's Belgium 1, Italy 2, and it's Romelu Lukaku from the penalty spot. Jeremy Doku got in around the back of Di Lorenzo, and a little nudge in the back then from the Italian fullback. Doku goes down rather exuberantly, but the referee gives the penalty. They looked at it through VAR for the review as well, and the spot kick was still given. Lukaku steps up, he sends Donnarumma the wrong way, just right of centre, he smashes it in, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2.
Lifeline for the Belgians, and you have to say if they were going to score, it was going to have to come from something along the lines of a penalty, tucked away expertly by Lukaku. Donnarumma for me went very early. I was looking down and thinking, though, who is going to take this penalty? Eden Hazard, 11 from 12 in open play for Belgium, not in action, so it falls to Lukaku, 1 from 1. Now 2 from 2.
Now 2 from 2, and now half-time because the referee has blown his whistle, and the Italian players are still remonstrating with him, but it doesn't matter. At the break then, it is Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up, and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up, and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up, and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back. And then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois. But then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged in, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Half-time at the Allianz Arena in this Euro 2020 quarter-final, and it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy went 2-0 ahead. Nicolo Barella with a nice finish across the keeper in the 31st minute after Belgium made an error at the back, and then on the 44th, Lorenzo Insigne with the best strike around 20 yards out, bending one top right into the top right corner. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but then in first half stoppage time, Doku went down in the box after Di Lorenzo nudged him, penalty given. Lukaku steps up and he slots it into the back of the net. At the break, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Well, it's a very warm welcome back to our unofficial off-tube studio commentary of this Euro 2020 quarter-final clash. Belgium 1, Italy 2 at the break then, and the sides back out for the second half. It doesn't look like there's been any changes made, so it's as you were. For Belgium, it is Courtois in goal, and it's Vertonghen the captain, Vermaelen and Alderweireld at the back. Hazard, and that's Torgan Hazard and Meunier is the left and right wing-backs respectively. Tielemans and Witsel in the middle, with Doku and De Bruyne flanking Lukaku. As for Italy, it's Donnarumma in goal, then it's Spinazzola, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo at the back, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella, with Insigne, Immobile and Chiesa as the top three. As they're coming forward early on, Italy now is, well, that was Insigne playing one across the edge of the penalty area. Chiesa would make the run ahead though, and it's out for a Belgian throw in their own defensive third around the left back position. It's James Mason and with me Cameron Pope again that are taking you through the second half. Belgium in their red kit going right to left in the second period, Italy in their all white. Is Italy actually trying to come forward now in the penalty area is Immobile, but again, a little bit of miscontrol from him when he tried to sort of run his foot over the top of the ball, and Belgium clear their lines. But at the break, I mean, we were talking actually in the office that we're unsure whether Belgium have got enough really to come back into the game. We think probably that Italy have been a little bit more attacking, and Belgium a little bit fortunate to get that goal back.
It may just have to come down to a moment of magic, James. Indeed, you know, I said at the end of the half that a penalty was probably the most likely outlet, the way that Belgium were faltering towards the break. That said, though, they do, of course, have players who have that little spark in their locker. It'll only take one moment, and the game has a completely different complexion now.
As indeed, as Italy coming forward down this left-hand side of the field with Insigne. Insigne now driving at the defence, a little ball towards the edge of the area to Verratti. Now it's with Chiesa with a right-footed strike, but he was off balance when he hit it, and it goes harmlessly wide in the end. But that's Insigne again, who is just running at the Belgian defence, and at the moment, Meunier does not like him running at him.
You know, just a little stretched ball there from Verratti, just left it a yard or so too far across his man. That led to the shanked effort, but good movement by Italy again. They've started in the way that they almost ended the first half in effect, and Verratti causing problems as well with the pass, and great running from Insigne at the defence too. And again, Belgium, well, it's starting in the same vein really, and they have to try and find a way to break through this.
Yeah, Italy though coming down this left-hand side, it's with Insigne again. He just holds onto the ball, plays it back down the line, infield now towards Jorginho, back out to Insigne. He's going up against Meunier again, lays it towards the edge of the area to Jorginho. Lovely little step over by him, still has possession as De Bruyne was on his overlap. Now it's with Insigne. Insigne into the box, tries to get a 1-2 back then from Verratti. Insigne, well, he looked like he had his legs sort of clipped a little bit. It's eventually poked behind by Meunier for a corner, but just for a minute, if Insigne went down, it would have given the referee a question to answer.
Well, I was thinking the same, James. It's the exact same area of the pitch, almost at a blade of grass where Jeremy Doku goes down under the challenge. And you just wonder there, perhaps, and they're not advocating players making a meal of challenges, but there was certainly a tangle in there, and Hearts will have skipped a beat for a moment. It begs the question, if nothing more.
Yeah, this corner will come in, though, for Italy. Right-footed, in-swing and delivery. Again, towards the near post, it's sort of flicked up and behind Boff Bonucci and then off Tielemans. Tielemans is saying it wasn't off him last, but another corner is taken, and it's quickly and it's short. Now it's infield towards Jorginho. Oh, lovely roll of the foot over the ball there as he gets away from his man. Now it's floated in by Chiesa. Not the greatest ball. They're looking for Ratti. A couple of bounces, and it's behind for a goal kick. But, well, Tielemans wasn't happy. But again, Belgium just didn't set themselves quick enough. Italy had already taken that second corner quickly, but it just wasn't a great ball back into the box then.
Well, we've had 3.5 minutes of this second half, and it's just all been Italy. The player's been camped down away to the right-hand side, down the Belgium defensive end of the ground, and they just can't seem to get their way out. Again, we find Italy in possession. They're happy to just sit on the ball. Belgium are doing all the running at the moment.
Yeah, indeed.
How it pans out.
I have to say, Lukaku he's still not happy, is he, with the challenges, but he's just getting physically beaten in the tackles by Chiellini or Bonucci. It doesn't matter which of those two centre-backs that he goes on, they're dealing with him very well. Even though Lukaku has scored, it was from the penalty spot, so there's nothing those two defenders could have done there. They're doing the job very, very well, but it's still Belgium 1, Italy 2, just over 49 minutes gone. Listening to unofficial off-tube studio commentary, it's Donnarumma that has possession now just inside his own box. He does find Bonucci, who plays him up towards halfway. It's chested down well by Immobile into the path of Jorginho, who just half turns away from De Bruyne. Then again, Bonucci plays a long looping ball forward, and it's taken down well by Vertonghen. Vertonghen then finds Hazard just ahead of him. Hazard now infield towards De Bruyne. He tries to flick one first time down the line for Doku, but too much on that from the City man. Roberto Martinez gives his appreciation, but we mentioned it in that first half. How long do you think they get out of De Bruyne? How fit is he? He looked fit in that first half, but is the effects of that injury, the ankle sprain, going to sort of come to pass really in the second half?
Well, again, they're not using him to his full potential, and it's not for the lack of trying. It's just that Italy is stifling the two most creative players in him and in Lukaku as well. And so you wonder perhaps the intensity that might play into his hands. It might mean you can eke an extra 10 minutes out of him, etc. But that was the gamble from the off, starting him from minute 0. It's not like you can inject him later on, and so that is going to be an interesting thing to watch coming forward. We just don't know.
Yeah, as Meunier now comes forward, ball into Lukaku, but his flick around the corner to De Bruyne is too heavy, and actually Jorginho just gets bumped a little bit from behind by De Bruyne. He can't believe it. The official on the far side put up his flag, and it will be a free kick to Italy. Well, that, to be fair, it was given as a free kick, and that was pretty similar, if not a little bit more, than the push of Di Lorenzo on Doku, which got given as a penalty in the first half.
Well, I think that's a correct decision, that one there, because I think Kevin De Bruyne, that's rather cynical. He's gone for a big bump into the back of his man, and he sent Jorginho flying straight into the hoardings, and thankfully he managed to get his hands up and deflect himself. It was a bit of a soft landing in the end, but you can cause damage doing that, and so it's a disappointing challenge from De Bruyne. I hope it's not frustrations boiling over. There were moments and flashpoints in that first half where you just wondered if that might be the case, but no, not something you'd expect to see from him in particular.
Yeah, maybe the frustration's just starting to boil over ever so slightly. It's been a good start this second half for Italy as they lead Belgium by 2-1 as Di Lorenzo now charges forward up towards halfway. Lovely ball into the feet then of Barrea. Now Barrea can come forward and he's unopposed at the moment, edge of the area to his right and finds Chiesa. Chiesa then fires one back towards Immobile. Well, I have to say Immobile hasn't had his greatest game, but that would have been an absolutely superb finish because that ball is fired into him about halfway up his knee and he can't get anything on it.
Yeah, no criticism of him there. It's coming at real pace and it's a tricky height as well. He has to really swing at it. Has a good swing at it too, but it was just a great flowing move again by the Italians. You can just see the way they transition from defence into attack, and the way that Roberto Mancini has managed to implement counter-attacking play into this Catenaccio. It is a beauty to behold, really, and they've managed to inject goals into it. They've conceded very few goals. We look at these two teams in qualifying. Okay, both qualify with a perfect record, 30 points. Belgium 3 goals conceded, Italy 4 goals conceded, but Italy now have the goals to boast as well. 2 of them so far, and they still look the far more likely side to get another one.
They do indeed, and we alluded to it in the first half, the talent that Italy have on the bench. We said what Belgium had, but Italy, and the fact that Pessina, who scored a couple of goals from this tournament, is on the bench. Locatelli scored a brace for them. He's on the bench as well. They've got players they can bring on. They're maybe not the big household names that everyone knows, but they all know their roles and their jobs for Roberto Mancini. Andrea Bellotti is another one, the Torino man, the number 9. So there are options for Mancini to bring on if he wants to. As Doku, that's a lovely spin away from his man down that line, but Di Lorenzo gets back well. However, he's supported by Hazard as Hazard picks it up. Now he finds Tielemans. Tielemans plays it across the field to find Alderweireld, who steps out of defence. Now he finds Meunier. Meunier down the line then. He'll be picked up. Is there maybe a chance to get a cross in? Spinazzola comes over. Now Insigne gets his foot on it, pokes it out for a throw for Belgium. As it is Meunier who will take it. Now he does look like he might have a bit of a long throw on a Meunier. Whether he decides to do that, I'm not too sure, but he's actually, I think he's trying to go short here, trying to find some options. He goes infield, and it's Alderweireld that has it now. Chests it down, then he flicks it up into the air, but flicks it too far ahead of him, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. And a little bit of frustration there for Belgium again, but we've had, nearly 54 minutes. Belgium 1, Italy 2. If you're Roberto Martinez, how long do you wait if you're still trailing before making a change?
Well, it's a difficult one to say, really. You're replacing a key outlet and you're looking at the bench too, and you're wondering how on earth you're going to try and balance this one out. You've seen that we've got, of course, Nasser Chadli, but then he was more a replacement for Doku, you would imagine. I think it has to be, unfortunately, it has to be until De Bruyne clearly has nothing left in the tank, because if he can just provide that one spark of brilliance, then that's all that you need to get back into it. With it being a 1-point ball game, as they say, then I think he's just indispensable on this pitch, and no matter how, you could have 30 players on the bench, I don't think you'd find a quality enough replacement for him. He has to stay on for as long as he can manage.
Yeah, Doku now is in possession though, as he just drifts inside away from a tackle, steps away from it, out with Witsel into the path then of Alderweireld into the feet of Tielemans. Does well to hold off a challenge then from Verratti. Finds Meunier delivers one towards a far post, and it's a good looking ball, just too much in it for Lukaku. All Di Lorenzo can do though is volley it behind for a corner kick, and for a moment I thought that was right on the head of Lukaku.
It looked like a perfectly planted ball, really, straight to him, and just at the last limit to catch their breath, the Italians, you would say. But Belgium, they've not had much of a sniff in the opening 10 minutes of this half, and this is really the first time we've seen them threatening. Yeah,
it's Doku now gets the corner short from De Bruyne. Doku onto his right foot, goes back into the path of Tielemans. Tielemans then first time to De Bruyne, back down the line to Doku. Doku then gets past his man well into the penalty area, drills one towards the near post, and Donnarumma smothers it and then manages to keep it before it goes out of play. So Italy have possession back, but Doku, well, that's what he has. I tell you what, Verratti is very, very lucky. It's in the back of his head. He suddenly goes, "Ooh, I'm on a yellow card, I can't slide here," and if he goes and makes contact, it's a second yellow and it's a red.
You almost see that thought process, the cogs turning there. And for a player who's often been criticised at Rennes for his lack of finished product, Jeremy Doku, he certainly does well to get himself into range, and actually really lucky for Italy. It just glances off the back leg of the defender, and that takes it back towards Donnarumma, who then does a good job of just keeping the ball on the line. A wake-up call, perhaps. We need to see more of that from Belgium to have a likelihood of us having a contest again, I would say, though.
Yeah, we've got a corner though for Italy as they tried to play it down the left side, and there was a big sliding sort of challenge that came in from Toby Alderweireld, but he put it all the way back, unfortunately for him and his team, for a corner for Italy. So it's on that far left hand side. It will be Lorenzo Insigne, the goal scorer of Italy's second, to take this one. It'll be a right-footed in swing and delivery. What can they do from this one? Right arm goes up, he delivers it. It's a decent looking ball though. Chiesa is there trying to get his head on it. It's going to be sort of headed / shouldered away then by Thomas Meunier. Out for a throw for Italy on this near right hand side. Chiesa then just sort of gingerly walking over to it, and the number 2, Di Lorenzo, coming over to take this throw in. Di Lorenzo then has the ball in the air now, looking for a little bit of movement ahead of him, which his players are making, and he just goes short then towards Barea. Barea, then nice play by him, finds Chiesa. Chiesa, ball into the penalty area for Jorginho. Jorginho goes down, appealing for a penalty. Well, actually, well, I was about to say he's not appealing. Then he has a little look at the referee to say, well, why is that not a spot kick? Jorginho now trying to battle to win possession back, but Belgium have it. Doku then gets past 1-2 players, then he's wiped out, although the referee's saying I think the ball had already gone. Does he get the free kick now? He might, or a throw. It's one of those two, but this penalty we'll have a look at. Well, I don't think there's enough contact. De Bruyne's legs do come around Jorginho, but for me, there's not enough to send Jorginho down.
No, I think there's 2 good decisions there back-to-back from the officiating team. And I say the teams, I think the referee was slightly caught out of position for the second one, the challenge on Doku. I think the ball has gone, and it's Doku going over the outstretched leg of the Italian in the end. But looking back at that penalty, the referee was right on top of it and straight out with the cutting the blades of grass in front of him with the arms. He was no doubt in his mind, and I don't quite think really there was enough contact. Not all too dissimilar to the incident that did give us a penalty in the first half, but no, I think that is a correct decision. I don't think there's enough there to warrant a foul. Yeah, Italy now coming forward down the left-hand side, ball into Immobile in the box, back towards goal, turns and has a shot on the spin. It's deflected away again. Hasn't quite been the night for Ciro Immobile so far. Italy then have a ball over the top of the defence. Lorenzo Insigne brings it down, has a shot. I'm sure the offside flag will go up eventually, which it does, and it will be Belgium that have a free kick just outside their own penalty area. Well, it's still is Belgium 1, Italy 2, as this ball gets played up towards the halfway line. But again, Belgium rather sloppy. I suppose they're thinking we can't just lump it up there because Lukaku's having issues against Chiellini and Bonucci, and now it's Italy now that are just picking up possession high up the field. They're penning Belgium into their own sort of their own half at the moment, which is causing issues for them. It's Jorginho in possession. Jorginho then finds Verratti. I wonder if Verratti maybe could get hooked in terms of the fact that he's right on the line, isn't he, potentially getting a second yellow card and going off in this game. Well, he's threading the tightrope, as you say. He's got to be so careful now looking forward. That's the main worry, I think, for the Italians now. They've got to be really careful because we looked at the pace of Doku, who's come alive in this second half, or so you would say, and managing to find his pace and his running boots down that flank. He's just asking the question, just dropping himself in there, and I think that might be a possible weak link that Mancini might need to address. Yeah, no, I would agree with that as we are just about to hit the hour mark in this game. Is there a way back for Belgium, or will it be Italy that are going through into the semi-finals, where they will of course meet Spain, who beat Switzerland on penalties in the first quarter-final, which was early today. It's Belgium though that have got a bit of defensive work to do. It's with their skipper Vertonghen, tries to clear it down the line, pressure from Immobile. They will get themselves a throw and they'll be able to start from the back. But we're into the second half and it's still Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy made a really bright start to the second period without really having any chances against Thibaut Courtois. There was a half penalty shout when Jorginho got into the penalty area, and it was Kevin De Bruyne who sort of came around him. Jorginho went over, but there wasn't enough contact to send him down the way he was, and the referee waved it away. As for Belgium, well, Jeremy Doku got in down that left-hand side, span away from his man, got past Verratti, then put a low ball in towards the near post. It took a little flick and into the arms of Donnarumma, but both sides, they are pressing to maybe try and get another goal. Another one for Italy, and it will probably be game done and dusted. Belgium, if they get it, they're right back in this tie. It's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Doku again, always causing problems down that flank. He might have just created something here. There's going to be a chance on at the back post. Oh, and close again from Lukaku, who can't believe he's not managed to get his feet sorted out. But once again, time and time again, we're saying, James, that Doku, he just seems to be a different man in this second half. And that might help that, of course, he's coming up against Verratti and causing as many problems as he can. But he's just finding a gear that he didn't have in Belgium through that and managing to live through him, really. And then Lukaku is the man, the golden man you would expect to be firing on all cylinders, and perhaps it's rustiness not having any service, but it's just not firing for him.
Yeah, what defending that was though from Spinazzola. This corner comes in for Belgium with De Bruyne, and it's Chiellini that heads it up and away, and then Belgium now trying to get their heads on it again. Head tennis between the two sides. De Bruyne nods it in field, then Jorginho gets it away. No one seems to want it at the moment. It's eventually brought down. There's appeals, I think, for a handball potentially, but they're going to play on. It's now Italy coming forward down this right hand side, and Barella plays the ball in field, then Immobile tries to bring it down in the box, and again it just pings off him. It was a difficult one to bring down. However, a player of his quality, you would expect him to probably bring that down and get a shot on. I think he would have been onside, and well, that could have been the game done and dusted if he'd put that in. It's
just not happening for Ciro Immobile tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him swapped out at some point. There's only so long that you can press with him, and it's just not falling.
Yeah, it's Insigne now trying to come forward down the left side into the box, but he just overruns it and it's cleared away. But Italy have it back. There's a really good tempo and pace to this game now. 62 minutes gone. Listening to unofficial off-tube studio commentary, it's Belgium 1, Italy 2. It's now with Verratti down that left-hand side of the field. He does just pop the ball back into Spinazzola. You've seen replays of that chance early before Lukaku as well, when De Bruyne played it across the face of goal, across the 6-yard box, and Lukaku should have an easy tap in, but Spinazzola just gets a little toe on it, which just takes it away from Lukaku and puts it behind. We're going to see replays of it again now, actually. He just gets a little toe on it. Lukaku gets something on it, and then Spinazzola flicks out his right knee and turns it behind. I mean, superb defending.
Well, it depends how much he knew about it. Chiellini is certainly straight over to laud him and sing his praises. It's either a fantastic reflex or it's brilliantly pre-planned, but the pace of Doku to get to De Bruyne in range, that should have been 2-2.
Should have been, but it's still Belgium 1, Italy 2, as Italy now have possession around the edge of the D with Barella. Barella into the penalty for Chiesa. Chiesa across the face of the 6-yard box and field towards Barella. Barella looking up, trying to find a little bit of space or some options. Oh, he nutmegs De Bruyne. Now he finds Jorginho. Now it's Verratti. Verratti to Insigne again, hugging the touchline, tries to go in field away from Meunier. It's with Verratti once more. Italy keeping possession well. Belgium have got so many red shirts back at the moment. It's only Lukaku that is not defending for them. Verratti back towards Insigne. Again, it's all in that left-hand corner at the moment. Back towards Verratti. Verratti is asking for players to make a little run ahead of him. They just go back into the path of Jorginho. Now it's on the halfway line with Bonucci. Bonucci then is robbed of possession. Oh, he gets so lucky there. I think the referee has bailed him out of a situation, because Belgium are going to be breaking and about a 3-on-1 situation.
Massively outnumber the Italians there.
Oh, he doesn't foul him.
I think that's a poor decision. I don't think the referee's got a lot wrong so far, but that is a massive let-off, and anguish written all over Kevin De Bruyne's face. Anger and perspiration. He's certainly putting a shift in, but that really was the first slip we've seen from Chiellini, I think, and he's been paid a massive service there by Slavko Vincic.
Very, very fortunate there with the Italian defence, but they still lead by 2-1. Again, we're just wondering how fit is De Bruyne. Can he get through 90 minutes or 120 really, if they're looking in at Belgium, if they want to get back into this tie? They trail by 2-1, but it's Barella. Barella now finds Immobile. Again, Immobile's layoff back to Barella is poor, but Kevin De Bruyne can't keep a hold of possession. It's all the way back with Donnarumma, and Italy will look to start again. Donnarumma under pressure from Doku. Oh, that was so close. He played a ball sort of a right angle out towards his near side and nearly into the path of Jeremy Doku, and just actually looking down, I'm not sure if De Bruyne is going to last any longer than 65 minutes were just over, because he just bent down and had a little look at his ankle as this ball comes into the box from Insigne. Oh, Spinazzola with a left-footed strike has put it wide. What an opportunity, what a move by Italy. Brilliant ball in by Insigne, and Spinazzola, I suppose all you can say is a left back, and he's not used to being in there.
Well, to say he's a left back, he didn't improvise too badly. I don't think he expected to find himself in quite so much room. He flashed a shot at goal on the left foot. I don't think he's missed it by very much, and that's just how quickly this game could be over. Belgium in the last 5 minutes, I wouldn't quite say a purple patch, but they're starting to get some feelers out and work their way back into this game and make it a bit more of a contest. And we're going to see the injection of Dries Mertens. I'll be interesting to see if this is going to be for Romelu Lukaku or perhaps a slight change of shape to see if it is going to be De Bruyne and there is a problem, but it just seems now that Belgium are starting to gain a foothold.
They are indeed. I'm desperately looking. Italy got possession to try and see where De Bruyne is. Well, there he is, but he just doesn't seem to be moving around that well, and he's looked back at the sidelines as well. I think this is probably De Bruyne that will be going off as Italy try and force the ball through, but it's been intercepted and ran out then by Vermaelen, but then he's had his pocket picked then. That's a good challenge by Verratti. Now it's with Insigne, but the referee's going to give a free kick because Vermaelen then was a little bit too robust in the challenge. Oh, and then Insigne's having to go at Vermaelen as well. That is little and large, David against Goliath, that one there, between the two sides of those players. But I think Vermaelen needs to be careful because he could talk himself into a booking, and the referee's just going to have a little word with them. But yeah, Italy's certainly pressing high and they're winning the ball back in good positions.
Yes, I don't envy Slavko Vincic here being stuck between those two. It's just getting a little bit heated, but just seems we're going to have a double change now, so certainly makes for an interesting change as well. Nasser Chadli, who's got so much bags of experience at this level, he's also shaping to come on. 65 caps. He plays his football with Başakşehir in the Turkish league, and might be just in it for the fight here. We'll have to see. He might just be able to inject a missing link. I don't know if it's going to be De Bruyne or Doku or both. Who knows? Yeah,
this free kick comes in from Insigne towards a far post. It's headed away when Barrea was lurking, but it's picked back up by Chiesa. He now whips another ball into the box towards a far stick. Then an attempted volley there from Immobile, but it was a difficult one to do. De Bruyne now does pick up possession, and De Bruyne is still coming forward, but he just overruns that one ever so slightly, and Italy have possession back as those two subs still waiting to come on for Belgium. I think it's going to be De Bruyne and Doku. That will be the two that come off, as Insigne now has possession on that far left-hand side of the field. Inside now towards Verratti. He exchanges passes with Jorginho. Back out to Insigne. And Italy being allowed just to pass this around at the moment. Now it's with Chiellini. Across to Bonucci. Bonucci to Chiellini once more. And now it is with Spinazzola. Infield towards Jorginho. Verratti. This is energy sapping as Belgium are having to chase after and put pressure on. Now Italy are coming forward though. Insigne hugging that left touchline. Now it's infield towards Jorginho. Back to Verratti once more. He lays it down the line to Insigne once again. And is he going to have a little run at Meunier? No, he just plays it infield then towards Immobile. Immobile then just drops a bit deep and finds the ball towards Verratti once more. Jorginho, those two exchange a pass as well. Jorginho has it again down that left-hand side of the field, pops it in towards the feet of Lorenzo. Insigne has an effort from distance, and Courtois rather spills that one. Maybe just bounced ahead of him, but I think he should do better there, the Real Madrid man, as Doku is trying to now run this one out of play, and he's going to get a free kick. Maybe a little bit fortunate, but for me that wasn't convincing from Courtois.
Well, Doku's dug him out of a hole there. If there's one thing he's done right all night, that is buying free kicks and penalties. He just sensed the challenge coming in and went down to ground. It was a simple one for the assistant to give, really. He bought the contact, but I think it's definitely made a meal of by Thibaut Courtois there. Got a weak hand behind it, and rather than just calming the tempo, he sprayed it straight out, and again, it plunged his side back into trouble.
Yeah, this is not the changes I thought it would be, actually. Yuri Tielemans has gone off, and Dries Mertens has come on, and I think I saw the other one there was Thomas Meunier, and Nasser Chadli is coming on to replace him. Yep, that is it there. So I presume Nasser Chadli will just drop into that right wing back position anyway. I think he has played that before for club and country at times. Mertens into that centre midfield role. I think De Bruyne probably just drops in the next to Witsel, and Mertens plays a little bit higher up the field, but De Bruyne must be okay because he's been kept on. But for me, he looked a little bit lethargic at times in the second half.
Well, you were certainly right, and he was looking over towards the bench. He was feeling the ankle, and it did make you wonder. But then again, it's just strength and depth that Belgium do have.
Yeah, they're coming forward as well. Now it is with Mertens. Mertens towards the edge of the penalty area, lays it into the path of Chadli. Chadli now left foot strike, takes a deflection towards the far post, and it can't be turned in. Oh dearie me, what an opportunity for Torgan Hazard then. Just couldn't quite turn it home. Nasser Chadli, who actually came forward down the left-hand side, so I think he's switched flanks. The Chadli's playing as the left wing back, and I think Torgan Hazard is out on that right-hand side now as the right wing back. but I'm not sure if Nasser Chadli's slightly injured himself as well in that, but the ball comes into the box again. Lukaku trying to get on the end of that one. That's a good take by Donnarumma. Lukaku gives appreciations to his teammates, but what an opportunity that was for Belgium.
Well, Nasser Chadli, what an introduction that would have been. And time again, down that left flank, we've seen Italy just get some lucky touches to bring it back under control. It just sneaks it away from Romelu Lukaku, who's rising. He's got the goal at his mercy, but the deflection just takes it a foot or so in front of his head, and he just can't convert. Italy have got away with one again, I feel.
They have, and Italy coming forward now, trying to put this game to bed. It's with Immobile, but he's been challenged fairly then, and De Bruyne has possession back, playing in that centre midfield role. He now tries to thread a through pass then to Lukaku. It's been cleared away. Oh, and now Italy have it as they turn defence into attack, and there's not many bodies up for this one in Italy, and eventually Immobile just falls over, and he's asking for a free kick. I think he's signalling towards the sidelines that he might need to come off, but he's back on his feet now. I think that was maybe just a little bit of his pride here, as Doku tries to go down that left-hand side again, but he's sort of bundled into the back of Di Lorenzo, and I think they're going to get themselves a free kick. Well, it's still at Belgium 1, Italy 2, as this game is getting closer towards the end. It's still Italy at the moment that are on their way into the semi-final stage. There's been a couple of changes made by the home side. Dries Mertens has come on for Yuri Tielemans, who was on a card, and Nasser Chadli for Thomas Meunier. And almost instantly Chadli made an impression as he got in down the left hand side. He tried to flick a ball back towards the far post. It hits off a defender, which takes it away from the head of Lukaku, and Hazard at the far stick couldn't sort of back heel it in. As for Italy, well, they've had some chances coming forward as well, but they just can't quite get that crucial goal to try and put this tie to bed. But it's still Belgium 1, Italy 2.
I can see a couple of changes brewing now for Italy. I can see the figure of Brian Cristante getting ready to come on, and Andrea Bellotti, well, he's not a man I'm surprised to see. I think that Ciro Immobile, I imagine his night might be up. As for someone else's night who might be up, well, Nasser Chadli's only been on the pitch 3 minutes, and he's requiring medical treatment. He's going down. It seems to be the right leg that is the problem. I wonder if it might be the knee. He's getting immediate medical attention. This is certainly not what Roberto Martinez will want to see his side finally just working their way back in. And Chadli, we've only seen him in one move, and it very, very nearly brought about an equaliser. So perhaps worrying times here in a very transitionary period in the game, James.
Yeah, I think that's where he does his injury in as well. Nasser Chadli, it's a right knee that he's looking at. It maybe just sticks in the turf a little bit, but yeah, Nasser Chadli, I don't think that's going to be long for him. He's now off the field of play, he's limping around, and I think that will probably be one of the quickest substitutions, or the substitute being substituted in this Euro 2020. We are going to see a couple changes though for Italy first. Is that the... No, actually no, that's the Belgium, change first. Then Nasser Chadli then is off, and it's Dennis Pratt then, the Leicester man, who was onto the field of play. So short-lived appearance of Chadli, almost had the desired effect, but the substitute is substituted, having picked up an injury. So it's Dennis Pratt on for Thomas Meunier, and we are going to see these changes now for Italy, and well, that is Marco Verratti. Maybe no surprise there, he's on a yellow card, and he could have got a second yellow if he hadn't. I mean, there's a couple of slide challenges he went into that he just managed to pull out of at the last second to stop him from being sent off. It will be Brian Cristante, the number 16, who has come on to replace him. And just looking at the next change then for Italy is Ciro Immobile. No surprise there. Andrea Bellotti looks like the man that's coming on to replace him, and just hasn't quite worked for Ciro Immobile in this game, has it?
No, he's just never looked likely to get off the mark, Ciro. While it's always been falling to Lorenzo Insigne, and we saw his wonderful goal to take Italy 2-0 up just right before half-time and right before the penalty that served to put Belgium back into it. For his partner, it just hasn't really happened, and so it'll be interesting to see what Bellotti can manage. He's a good season with Torino, and I'm not really surprised. In fact, I'm only surprised that he's been gambled on this long. It's just not really been firing for the Italian man. Yeah, it's Chiesa now, though, with possession for Italy around the right edge of the penalty area. He gives it back to Barrea, and it is the Azzurri that have the ball once more. Yeah, I suppose Immobile, he didn't score the goals, but I suppose he attracts so much attention, doesn't he, that potentially that opens it up for a little bit for Insigne just to drift out, on that left wing and come in field, and he's not maybe tracked as much as he should
be, as Donnarumma now has possession for Italy. It's up towards the halfway line where it's volleyed into the path of Belotti. Oh, who looks like he's, well, I thought he was challenged unfairly. No, says the referee. Vermaelen got the ball, and now Lukaku has it, lays it into the path of De Bruyne. Oh, De Bruyne just overruns it, but it falls into Clarku's path. He has a shot on the spin, deflected into the path of Donnarumma, and Italy can breathe a sigh of relief again. But De Bruyne, right in that critical moment where he was either going to shoot or pass, he just took his eye off the ball and it went away from him.
Yes, and he's walking a little gingerly as well away from that. He's picked himself up and dusted himself off. Lukaku just found himself with the ball perhaps one phase earlier than he would have liked it. Shanked a shot, and good play as well, you got to say, from Donnarumma, just to catch the ball on his shin and just spin it down to ground, just waiting before he had to pick up. Of course, you've got, in theory, 6 seconds to release, and we're firmly now, after 75.5 minutes, into game management territory.
Yes, indeed, and Italy, I mean, it's probably not a better side than Italy to hold on to a lead, is that, you know, they're fantastic at the back, and maybe they'll be thinking of just hitting them on the counter-attack, Belgium, and picking up the crucial third goal, which it would be. Oh, there's another Italy player now who's gone down. It's Spinazzola who's limping around, and he's going to have to go off as well. I didn't really see. He tried to flick the ball past Torgan Hazard and go around him, and then he's either done his ankle or it's a muscle strain, but Spinazzola immediately stopped, limped, and said, I've got to go off.
Well, I wondered if it might be the calf, but he's tripped as he's chasing. And I think that Torgan Hazard, well, he showed him a clean pair of heels, turned round and straight up in the air. And Spinazzola is in real pain. He's just been sat down rather wisely there by Brian Cristante. For a moment I thought perhaps cramp, but straight away signalling to the bench that he wants to come off. And I'm looking at the bench now, and Italy of course have made 2 changes, and I'm wondering what the smartest option here is going to be. And there's no real like for like that is leaping out at me straight away. And so I worry now for Italy as well, because they've been so dominant in this game, and I think the longer it's worn on in this second half, you perhaps see that stranglehold just falling off. Really, it's quite worrying scenes here as well for Spinazzola, who's down in real discomfort. He's having to just be comforted by the medical staff. We've seen a few of those injuries in this game so far, and no, it's not what you like to see, because it's been a game that should be remembered for a quality goal and for its drama, but it's just, we're starting to see a few personnel really struggle physically in these last stages.
Yeah, I think that could be a hammy potentially he's done there, so he pulled up pretty sharply, didn't he? I did see Domenico Berardi was on the sidelines there ready to come on. I thought Emerson Palmieri, the Chelsea man, could have potentially been a player to bring on. He is a left back, but it looks like Roberto Mancini is maybe going to go with Berardi here, although Emerson Palmieri is actually coming on as well, so it'll be another double change made by Italy. Federico Chiesa, the man who came on to replace the man who started this game in place of Domenico Berardi, is gone off. I tell you what, Spinazzola is in absolute tears on the floor at the moment. I think it's probably more in the realisation that this could be the end of his tournament, and if he tweaked a muscle like that, it probably is the end of a tournament. He's now being helped onto a stretcher. It's got to be a hamstring that's gone for him. Has to be.
I can't see anything else now. Looking at that replay, we've just had a slow motion replay, and I don't think we really needed to see that, to be honest, because it's heartbreaking. You look at the man and think that now he does know that it's the end of his European Championship. You can't see him coming back from such a serious problem. It's a real shame. It's been a good championships for him, and you just hope that this doesn't keep him out for too long in the future. Really, it's a horrible way for his game to end, for his tournament to end. And now Italy just have to keep themselves focused now. We've seen some remarkable displays of resilience in this tournament, dealing with injuries, and so Italy just need to call on some of that spirit now.
They do indeed. Yeah, he's been stretched off then, is Spinazzola. Excuse me in terms of the change before, when I said that Chiesa was the man going off for Berardi. It's not. Laurentien Insigne is the man that's gone off, and Berardi's replaced him, so Chiesa's still on. And that change now has been confirmed with Emerson Palmieri coming on for Leonardo Spinazzola in. Well, Emerson, if Italy go through, could be getting himself a starting spot in the semi-final against Spain, with it looking as if Spinazzola's tournament is done and dusted with how he's going off, stretched off in well, absolute tears, which, like we said, it is never nice to see, but hopefully the injury is not too bad. But it looks like it's the end of Spinazzola's tournament. At the moment, it's the end of Belgium's tournament as they trail Italy by 2-1. Just over 10 minutes to go. Starman De Bruyne is starting to show, I think show the effects that he's not 100% fully fit. Some of his touches in the second half haven't been fantastic, or not what we know that he can do. As the ball is with Hazard on that far right side of the field. Now towards the halfway line where Vermaelen has it, gets it from Alderweireld, has to turn away from the number 9 Belotti, gives it back to Alderweireld, now inside to Vermaelen. Belgium just passing around their back three, but they need to get the ball upfield. Vertonghen now goes across to Alderweireld. Now a diagonal ball out towards this near side for Doku, and oh well, that's the height disadvantage that he has, because one bounce and is over his head. Seeing shots again of Spinazzola going off, but I mean, he's distraught in terms of he knows his tournament's over, which, like we said, why the cameras are still panning towards him, we've got no idea.
It just seems unnecessary, really, and in the game that we want this to be remembered for the football, and it's a horrible scene to have to see. It's building up at this very moment, building up to be a continuation of the tournament for the Italians, and of course there's disappointment of not being able to be part of that destiny and affect the team's chances, but also it's knowing that we've seen tears up and down the years in very poignant circumstances for that exact reason, for missing games later through injury and through suspension. But Italy have to keep focused on the game. Emerson, he does seem supposed to be the logical choice. I always prefer him in the left midfield role further up the field, but I guess that he's regular in the Italian side, having not played too much for Chelsea. He's certainly favoured by Mancini, and perhaps that faith makes him not a surprise choice to be brought on. So he's got 10 minutes really to just shore this up and make sure there's no further slips. Yeah, it was Emerson actually just gets a free kick, as it was Dries Mertens who just collided, ran through the back of his heels, and free kick to Italy inside their own penalty area. Into the final exchanges then, and it's still Belgium 1, Italy 2, so the Azzurri are very close to putting themselves into the semi-final of Euro 2020, where they will take on Spain. There has been an enforced change for Belgium. Nasser Chadli, who actually came on as a sub, only lasted around 4 or 5 minutes because he picked up an injury to his knee, and Dennis Pratt has come on to replace him. Another player that went off injured, it looks like it's the end of his tournament, is Leonardo Spinazzola, the left back for Italy. Looks like he's pulled his hamstring. Emerson Palmieri come on to replace him. Brian Cristante has come on for Marco Verratti as well, while Domenico Berardi is on for Lorenzo Insigne. Italy trying to see this game out. It's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Well, it's interesting to see that Roberto Martinez is still sticking with Romelu Lukaku. He certainly, of course, brings the goals, but then you've got on the bench a man with a fantastic record in a Belgium shirt. That's Michy Batshuayi, and coming into this tournament, he's played 32 times for the national team, and he's got 22 goals, but going the way they've been in the last 10 minutes, Belgium might not need him. Yeah, Witsel now down this right-hand side, tries to put in a cross, it's been deflected out. You have to say I'm surprised he's stuck with, I mean they need probably another centre midfielder, and they don't there, and they've only got Witsel really, but I think sometimes you've got to bite the bullet. If De Bruyne is not fully in it, I think you've got to take him off. You just got to give someone else a go, or take off a defender. You've got 3 centre-halves on there at the moment. Take one of those off and put a striker on. You're 7 minutes plus stoppage time away from going out to the quarter-final stage of Euro 2020. This is meant to be Belgium's golden generation, isn't it? It was this tournament, and you'd maybe say the World Cup, 2022 World Cup, is maybe the last chance for this settled squad here to maybe win silverware. Then there'll be changes made, players retiring from international duty, as Doku's going in from this left-hand side. Doku, great work, edge of the area, right footed strike, oh, and it's just gone over. What a goal that would have been from Jeremy Doku. He just dribbled his way in from that left-hand side, past 1, 2, 3 players, edge of the D, right-footed, and it's just gone over. Well, this is Doku's opportunity to prove himself. Only 10 games, as we said in the first half, he's played for Belgium, and he is growing in stature, and he's not far away. The problem is it's always rising. He does well to work himself into a little bit of space just to get the backlift and open up the shot, but there's just too much of it in the end. And Donnarumma, well, he was getting across to it, and it was just always rising away from his post. But you make a very salient point there, James. It's 10 players in this squad above the age of 30. They've already lost for international duty, the likes of Marouane Fellaini, and so you probably do say that the next World Cup in 18 months' time at a stretch is the very last opportunity. There's a lot on the line here for Belgium. There is indeed. Like you said, I mean, this defence will probably change, won't it? Vertonghen 34, Vermaelen 35, Alderweireld 32. Surely Vermaelen and Vertonghen will probably knock it on the head potentially, and then you're looking at the others in there. I mean, Axel Witsel's 32, Dries Mertens is 34. Yeah, you mentioned some old players in there, and it could be change for Belgium. I think
most of the players will be involved in their World Cup qualifying campaign, but there'll have to be some changes. There'll have to be some fresh blood, you think, coming into this Belgium side. But have they given away their biggest opportunity over the last couple of major tournaments to win some silverware? Just over 5 minutes for stoppage time to go. Belgium 1, Italy 2. Is there late drama? We've seen such late drama in the knockout stages of Euro 2020 so far. Are we going to get some late goals in this one? Of course, Switzerland, when they scored 2 late on, again, they're just happy to pass this one across the back. I know they don't want to lump it forward, but you're going to have to do it at some point. And you've got Lukaku up there. Just get some players, you'd say, close to him and try and give him something to feed off. But at the minute, Italy are just... it's a wall of white shirts in front of the red shirts at the moment. Hazard now on that right-hand side, dummies himself in field, then tries to play a little reverse ball into Mertens. It takes a deflection. Mertens then hooks it in, looking for Lukaku, headed away by Di Lorenzo, and then the header away is completed. Now it is Belotti. Belotti trying to challenge for it. Witsel has it out towards Doku on this left-hand side. Nice play by Doku. Little spin by him. He tries to go forward then into the penalty area. Doku then trying to get onto his right foot. It's a good challenge from Jorginho, who watched him all the way. The 19-year-old now is pretty much the De Bruyne, isn't he? It's like, give it to Doku and see if he can do something special.
He's really coming alive, jinking away, and just took one too many touches from me there, bringing it inside into the penalty area. It's as you say, James, he's looking, as we've seen just a few moments ago, to make space to shoot on that right boot. He's just come a cropper there, too many white shirts on them. Where Italy, they love to drop into a 4-1-4-1 almost in the defensive phase, and now of course they can forget about anything like attacking, going full on traditional Italians now. Jorginho, as we've seen, likes to drop back. The wingers will come in as well to assist the defence. So hard to break down, and every time the ball comes anywhere near Lukaku, well, he's just drowning in a sea of white shirts.
Yes, indeed. And once again, the ball sort of bouncing towards halfway, and he's beaten in the air by Bonucci, who just timed his jump perfectly. As now Italy play a ball down that left-hand side of the field. It's with Chiesa now, who's switched flanks. Berardi's on the right, but he's trying to put the pressure on Hazard, who goes down. Free kick, I think, is given there. A little bit silly from Chiesa, because Hazard was penned into his own defensive third, running to his corner flag. Just, I think it's the best then just to jockey him. Don't put your hands or your feet around him, but there's a little flick of the legs, and he went down, did Hazard. Belgium had possession back, but they got less than 3 minutes plus any stoppage time to go. And I have to say, I don't really think Donnarumma's been tested in this second half. The closest they've come was the Chadley cross, which just missed the head of Lukaku and Hazard, and then there was the shot from Doku, which went comfortably over the bar in the end. But that's about it, as Lukaku tries to bring down a long ball forward. Italy clear their lines, and Belgium will get it back inside their own half. But that's the issue for Belgium. With the attacking talent they had, or have, they've not been able to test Donnarumma enough.
Well, one thing that might play into their hands is the fact that we have had 7 substitutions in this second half, and unfortunately some lengthy injury delays. So it might not be a question of a 3-minute game, but exactly, they've got to find this outlet, and really at the moment it is Doku.
Yes, indeed. As again, Lukaku took that ball down this time, but then just a little left toe came around him, a left boot from Chiellini, and just poked the ball away. And again, it's superb defending. They're not allowing Lukaku that time just to hold the ball and wait for support. They're getting right in at him straight away. They're timing their tackles very, very well of those two centre halves, and Chiellini and Bonucci. As Witsel now has nearly had his pocket picked on halfway, but the referee's allowing play on as Belgium have managed to get it. There was a foul in there by Belotti. It swung out towards his near side, where Doku has it. Doku then is faced up against 2 players. He just toe pokes it towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne delivers one into the penalty area. It's headed away by Chiellini. De Bruyne then picks it back up, and he's had his ankles tapped as well, so it's going to be a free kick. They can't believe it, Italy, but it's a free kick around, just shy of 25 yards out towards the left-hand side of the box, and it's a good shooting chance.
Well, it favours the right footer, and I had to wait there to pass my judgment because I wasn't sure on what the referee had given. I wasn't sure whether this had been a flop, and it was a very theatrical motion down to the ground from De Bruyne. I think it was a foul, but we're seeing an interesting rerun of a chance involving Axel Witsel, and you could possibly argue that a foul should have gone the other way towards Andrea Belotti in build-up play, just for a wayward arm. And I mean, for the drama stakes, it really ramps things up, this attacking moment. But I don't know. I think you can feel slightly aggrieved there if you're Italy.
Yeah, he does get a slap in the face, doesn't he? It's not intentional from Witsel, it's just a flailing hand. But what an opportunity now this is we're closing, about to go into stoppage time. De Bruyne is standing over this one. It's a little bit further out than I thought, actually, so it's not shooting distance, but it is a chance to whip a good ball in. Lukaku's looking for it. What can Belgium do? The whistle goes. De Bruyne steps up, right-footed. Oh, and he smacked it against the Italian player. Surely came... Yeah, he did. I was wondering how Berardi got there. When De Bruyne hit it, he's around, 4 yards away from him.
Well, you have to be 9.15 metres, and I don't think Berardi's even 5 metres. He's so close to it. And so that is the easiest yellow card that Slavko Vincic will ever have to give in his international career.
Well, what a stupid yellow card that is from Domenico Berardi. Luckily, he's not on a yellow card in terms of missing the next game if Italy are making it through as they are, but it's chance 2. Take 2 for Belgium. Are we going to see this change for Italy made before this free kick comes in? They always say never make a change when you are defending. Is that 5 minutes of added time gone up on the board there? Is Chiesa is the man that is just trudging off now? It does look like it's Rafael Toloi, the number 25, who's come on to replace him then. So a forward off and a defender on. What can they do? 5 minutes has gone up on the board. We've had just, around 40 seconds of it now. But if Belgium score this, and the back level at 2-2, what can De Bruyne? Can he muster anything up now in this game for Belgium? Take 2 with this free kick. Don't think Berardi will be charging forward quickly anymore. Is the referee just making making sure everyone's behaving? De Bruyne whips it in towards the far post, and the keeper comes out and he gets a little collision, and the referee gives the free kick against Axel Witsel. Well, again, I say this, keepers get far too much protection. What is Axel Witsel meant to do? Not challenge for the ball?
Well, I'm with you here, James. I think the Donnarumma is coming, and I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He's not got near enough to the ball. He's only grasping at it, and I think, okay, Witsel, he goes in perhaps sideways, almost perpendicular to the ground, and maybe that is what costs him. But I don't think that Donnarumma was anywhere near that ball, and I think he knew it. And now he's down on the ground. He may genuinely be hurt, but it's perhaps some good gamesmanship. At the very least, good game management from Italy. They've gone for the substitution just to eat up the first 30 seconds of the added time, and now Donnarumma is just sat on his haunches. In fact, he's just flopped back down to ground now, and Belgium will be aggrieved by this because they fancied themselves. The ball had fallen back into red-shirted clutches inside the penalty area. Okay, a lot of bodies to contend with, but Italy just doing their best to see this one out by any means possible.
Definitely won't be going off Donnarumma, I'll guarantee you that. I think he's maybe just a little bit winded. He does catch him in the sort of the lower stomach, doesn't he, there, Witsel? But they've already made their 5 changes, have Italy? So I don't think Donnarumma will be saying he needs to go off. But a bit of the magic spray, bit of water. It's sort of the right. Well, it's more the backside of Witsel really goes into Donnarumma, which again I don't think that's going to cause that much pain, is it? But I think it is just a little bit of gamesmanship going on.
Yeah, it's perhaps unwise, you could say, from Witsel to fly in. It is the rear of him that collides with the goalkeeper, and so, okay, we can have our own opinions, but we do tend to see those given. You're right about the protection given to goalkeepers, and so Witsel there, whatever your opinions on the decision, he should know better in this tentative and precious point in the game.
Well, indeed. Play has eventually restarted. We've nearly had 3 minutes of the fight added on. Surely we're going to be playing till around 97 now as Doku tries to bring the ball down, and then there's a foot that comes in. It's Vertonghen, and it's going to be a free kick. Ooh, Vertonghen sort of went over then towards, it was Barea, wasn't it? And now there's Di Lorenzo down on the floor holding his stomach. This is the bit of the game you don't like, but Italy is such great exponents of it in terms of just running down the clock, frustrating the opposition to come in with silly challenges like that, and they're just winding down the clock.
Well, 130 caps. Vertonghen should know much better than that. He goes in far too high. The ball's in no man's land. He's not got the right to go for it. And so it's just another opportunity now for Italy to eat up more of the clock. And so he's only got himself to blame. And it's exactly as you say, Italy just knowing here how to work it. I think they've got the referee. They know now what his tolerance level is going to be. And they're just grinding this one out. And Belgium, at the moment, it has to be sort of playing into their hands.
They are indeed. Although Belgium do have the ball back. Doku doing well, actually, to get aside a free kick. Now they take it short and they try and work it out towards De Bruyne on that far right hand side. We've got just over a minute of the 5 added on, but we'll think there'll be a little bit more than that. Oh dearie me, long ball forward by De Bruyne is just way too much. It's into the grateful arms of Donnarumma, who will drop down onto the ball. He's overcome the stomach complaint he had a few moments ago, as it's just not been quite right for Belgium in this game. Not been quite right for Kevin De Bruyne, who has definitely not been fully fit in the second half. He was at it in the first 45, but not in this second period, and maybe the effects of that ankle sprain are coming to hurt him as Italy have the ball now as they just kick it down the right hand side into the corner, and it's going to be Berardi that keeps it as well, and he's just got it in that corner. He's faced up against Vermaelen, but he's holding the ball well as Berardi, still in that right corner. The seconds are ticking away. Vermaelen just gets his foot in, and then there's a late challenge that comes in, this time from Belotti. Free kick is given as it was Vertonghen that went down, and they're trying to get themselves forward. It's Courtois that's going to come over and just launch this one forward, which he does, left-footed. Quite a flat delivery. Should just be, well, I thought it was going to be left by Chiellini, but he gets his head to it. Now it's with Barre, nods it back to halfway. Vertonghen gets in there as well, desperately trying to get the ball down. They can't get any sort of flow to their play at the minute, Belgium, but there's not long to go. We've had over the 5 minutes of added time now. How long will the referee go? I think he's going to go to 97. Not sure about you, Cameron.
That will be the wisdom. I think we've at least had 2 minutes of stoppage. It's just so hard to predict, but Belgium, well, at the moment, they can't get any possession outside their half.
Is there any late drama? Can Belgium bring us into extra time? It's Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy defending ferociously, and well, just a long booted half volley clearance there by Chiellini, and it thought it came off a Belgian player last there. Belotti did, sorry, Berardi, but it will be a throw into Belgium on that far right hand side of the field. We've had nearly 6 minutes of added time now in this game. Like I said, we think 97 is what they'll probably go to, as De Bruyne has it. De Bruyne onto his right foot. Now he tries to switch the play out towards the right hand side. It's a good switch. It's brought down by Hazard. Now back into the path of Alderweireld. They've got to get the ball forward now, Belgium. Hazard, nice ball infield then towards Witsel. Witsel then delivers an diagonal ball out towards his left hand side. Doku brings it down, and Doku's going to have a little run at his man here. Doku goes past him, drives in field. Doku now squares it towards Alderweireld, edge of the penalty area. He has the overlap there from Hazard. Hazard digs out a low cross then, and it's headed behind by Chiellini. It's going to be a corner kick. The drama continues.
You couldn't write it. Well, if our 97-minute projection is correct, they've got 40 seconds to make this corner count. Doku backpedaling expertly to keep that move alive, and he's got his just desserts here.
Yeah, corner comes in, right footed in, swinging delivery. It's attempted to be flicked on at the near post by Vermaelen. It goes behind, and it will be a goal kick. It will be, and Donnarumma punches towards the crowd as well. He thinks that's enough. I think that's enough. I think when this goal kick gets taken, that will be it. Well, it's have to say, Italy have probably deserved this on the balance of play. They have defended resolutely. The arms are up from Chiellini. I think he's saying, everyone, get yourselves up the field of play. I'm pretty sure when this gets... Oh, the referee's not even allowed the goal kick to be taken because he is blown for full time. And Italy, their incredible unbeaten streak goes to 32 matches. It's not a clean sheet, but it is a victory. And they're into Euro 2020, the semi-final stage. They will take on Spain then in a mouth-watering tie. Belgium, they have been knocked out. The golden generation falling short once again. It's finished Belgium 1, Italy 2. Italy with 2 goals in the first half through Nicolo Barella and Lorenzo Insigne. Lukaku had a first half penalty to give them a hope after Doku was brought down, but they couldn't muster anything really in the second half. Full time, it's finished Belgium 1, Italy 2. Thank you very much for listening.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so